questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Good evening. Whoa, what the hell's up with my volume? What the hell's going on? I tell you what, everything's broken. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host tonight, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. And we'd like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? Everything seems to break every time we start to do a show. Everything just falls to pieces. And it's duct tape and lots of curse words to get it all back together. But here we are. We're back. We're doing it and making up for Friday's show. We're all over the place. So if you're wondering what the hell's going on with the Sunday night show, well, Friday night we had a delay, so here we are. This is what we're doing.
Hey guys, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I just get the hammer. I get carried away. You know, I just start swinging and start breaking stuff, and there's fires. You know.
Yeah,
my bad.
Definitely not. Yeah, things. Yeah, there you go. Ash breaks all the things, and I have to put them all back together. Otherwise, no show. Damn it, Ash. Yeah. All right. Okay. So anyway, we got it working. Sorry for the delay. Literally one thing broke after another. Here we are. The joys of doing it all yourself without like a engineering crew and all the rest of that, right? Sound engineers and whatnot. Okay. Anyway, I'll quit bitching and moaning now. Okay. So. All right, so if you're finding yourself here tonight and you found us on YouTube or Facebook or whatever the hell else you found us on, because we're streaming on Twitter and also Twitch and DLive and everywhere else, and you're wondering what the hell this is, well, this show's about all the things we're not allowed to talk about, of course, which is that would be aliens, that would be conspiracy, that would be the paranormal, that would be everything in between, the 24-hour news cycle, and basically all the stuff that the news isn't going to tell you because, well, they're a dirty, lying bastard type of organization, the whole news media. So, yeah, so here we are trying to hopefully maybe point out some news that really needs to get touched on, and that's kind of what we do. So we do a little bit of news, we do a little bit of a conspiracy, we'll do a little bit of aliens, and you're in luck if you're into the aliens, because we're going to do some aliens tonight, aren't we, Ash?
I mean, I am here, aren't I?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I love them aliens, man. We got a good show. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot to get through. You know, everything from ancient structures to aliens to Hollywood, all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a good one. Okay,
definitely. And we were broken on YouTube because that broke as well, like as we started streaming. So YouTube wasn't streaming. So I had to fix that on the fly as well. Everything's, anyway, we're back. We're good. Everything's fine. Okay, so the way this works is all that stuff we talk about, we're going to do tonight. So we'll hit some news. We'll start with some, actually, first we're going to do some shout outs because did I mention the show's live? So it's Sunday night. The date is, what the hell is the date? I have no freaking idea. It is, wow, September 20th. Time flies, I tell you what. Time flies. September 20th. And if you're listening on a Sunday night, we're live and you can be part of the show. And to do that, all you got to do is call this phone number, 702-957-1037. And that's the phone number there. That's a Las Vegas area code. And you can also join the Discord, which is like a chat and a voice client. It's how Ash and I do the shows. And that's how we include you guys as well. So it's free for international types as long as you have an internet connection. So there's no... it's not necessary to have a long distance and all the rest of that business. So, yeah. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Troubleminds.org is the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there. Trying to read all the things and catch up with all the things. And yeah. Okay. So if you want to be part of the show, you can do it that way. And we will be watching the phone lines as we roll tonight, and also watching the Discord. So there you go. That's how you do it. Okay. So where am I? Man, I'm so out of sorts. Like when everything breaks, I lose my train of thought on everything, and at the same time,
all right, man. Just breathe. Bring your chi in.
Breathe.
Mr. Miyagi.
Can I meditate? Let's meditate for a little bit. Meditate.
Yeah. You want me to do some shout outs while you relax for a second here?
Yeah, hold on. So here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to do shout outs. So we are, like I did mention, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, which is Twitter. We're streaming on DLive, Twitch, etc., so on. So, okay, so everything seems to be working. Go ahead and type where you're listening from. If you want to shout out, we'll shout you out. We'll get started with Ash here shouting out in a sec. Then we'll do some news. That's the way this works. We'll do the first half of the show. We usually do kind of a relevant new conspiracy news and talk about that and kind of why basically the mainstream probably doesn't want you to know about it. So we'll do some of that, and then we'll get into aliens tonight. We're going to talk about just like Ash said, some aliens. We're going to get into some remote viewing, the pyramids, and sort of that conversation. And did the aliens build the build the pyramids, build the computers? Did the aliens build the pyramids?
I'm sure they built a computer.
Yeah, probably
at some point, right?
Probably at some point. Okay, so that's what's going on. So go ahead and start with the shout outs, Ash, on remember first names only Facebook. Go right ahead, sir.
Got it. What's up, Justin, Fred, Darius? Welcome to the show. Thanks, guys, for joining. Joanne, good to see you. I think that's it for Facebook so far. And then YouTube. Is YouTube working? That's the link.
YouTube was broken. Okay, hold on. We got more. There's way more than that. James, what's up? We got Sean. Sean from Canada. How you doing? We got another Sean. We got William. Just beat you on a fraction there. James, let's see. Rolling up a joint here. Love from Canada. We got Nikki. I'm not sure what you're not seeing there, Ash, but there's tons of people here. Todd, thanks for being here. Todd.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah,
hello?
I only see 8 comments.
Nope.
And it stops.
Nope. There's a whole bunch of people showing up. Okay. We got Paul. What's up? Paul from Wisconsin. Thanks for being here. We got, let's see, Joe from Florida. Hello. We got, let's see, Nikki from New Zealand. Too long. Yep. Thanks for being here tonight. We got Peter, who wants a vaccine. Not me. Not right now, anyway. Let's see. Who wants to, I guess probably better would be to say, who wants the test vaccine? Yeah. No thanks. Definitely no thanks. So we got Sean.
Hey, no, it's fine, Mike. They blew through all these normal precautions to get it out to the market really quick. You know,
yeah,
like
exactly.
Certain regulatory things. Just screw that. Let's get this like Illuminati virus out. Just let's change our DNA. I don't know, sterilize us, whatever's in there. Who cares? Just let's download that stuff.
Wait, so you volunteered to be the first? You want to be the first? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I want like 6. I want 6 of them.
Okay,
I want to make sure
the
it works.
First 6 vaccines. Okay. Yeah. You can have mine. How about that? Let's see.
There you go. A bonus.
Double bonus. Todd, what's up? Let's see. Paul says, can we get an option to share without starting a watch party? I don't know. You'll have to ask Facebook on that. I can't control what they do. Actually, nobody can control what they do, not even the government. William says, listening with headphones on the intro gives me a shady club vibe. There you go. Yeah, maybe. Probably. Let's see. Sean says...
that's what we were going for.
Yeah,
that's what we were going for.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean says, sea snake venom is the vaccine. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Maybe. You first. Mateo, what's up from Albany, New York in the shack? How you doing? Thanks for showing up. Let's see. Who else? We got Rajesh from Canada. Thanks for being here tonight. We got, let's see. Larry, this is not the droid you're looking for. Yes, definitely. Let's see. Who else? Elizabeth. Hi, good folks from Oregon, where the air is much better. Fire's getting put out and the rain is here. Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear there's some good news. Let's see.
That is good news.
Totally. Yeah. We need some good news this year. Let's see. Chuck.
2020.
Yeah, exactly. Chuck, evening. Thanks for tagging. Yeah, share on Facebook, guys. If you have not, tag your friends and get them in here. We'll have a good conversation about aliens and stuff tonight, and conspiracy and the normal stuff. Peter, what's up? Got to watch that new internet documentary on Netflix. That totally turned me around. Turn it around. Mind blowing. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know.
I think he's talking about Cuties. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Cuties. No, have you heard about?
I have heard about Cuties, and it seems like they shouldn't have been allowed to make that movie from some of the things I've read about it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, even okay, maybe it there's people who watch it and say it's not that bad, but think about the casting, right? Like the auditioning, like how many girls had to dance like that? Like the room for abuse there is so huge. It's just, come on, guys, we have to have higher standards than that. That's what I would say. And I watched a little bit of it. I was sick to my stomach. I could only do like a few minutes, and then it's pretty bad. Anyway,
bad, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's what he was talking about. Documentary. It was mind blowing.
If it's not, let me know. We'll bring up whatever you had in mind there. Let's see, Joanne, what's up? Thanks for being here tonight. We got let's see. Chris says Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi is an alien. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
I think they all are. I think they all are.
Maybe
man.
It could be.
Yeah,
it could be.
I think they all are.
Who
wants that job?
Yeah, not me. Definitely not me. James, let's see. It says, you know the thing. Who else we got? We have so many people here tonight. James, shout out from Southwest Florida. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. We got Larry from Wisconsin. We got Paul. We got Kelly. Kelly says, when life throws you curveballs, swing at those MFers like Stevie Wonder with a lightsaber. Good evening, peeps. I like that. That's a good one. Leah from Tennessee. Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Ryan says you can have my vaccine too. So you're loading up on vaccines, Ash. You get them all.
Oh, that's three. That's three. I'm almost at my goal of 6.
Almost gonna make it.
I'm getting there.
Frank from Houma, Louisiana, birthplace of Major Jesse Marcel Jr. Awesome. Thanks for showing up tonight. Peter about Google and Peter says the documentary is about Google and tech. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, Todd says there's nothing good about little girls twerking. Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that. William says Netflix trying to normalize pedophilia. Yeah. Again, I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of the backlash and what they're saying, but yeah. Geez, like the world we live in. Right?
No, guys, it's a French film.
Yeah,
it's French. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
French
you wouldn't understand.
Francais.
Yeah.
I mean that's a terrible defense. That's like insulting French culture, isn't it? Like, I don't know. It's just.
Is that what they said? I thought you were being funny.
That's an actual argument they're using. Oh, it's a French culture. It's French culture. It's French culture.
See.
You wouldn't understand. It's
Okay.
That's the argument. But come on, like, I saw a meme. It's like, documentary kills 300 puppies to demonstrate how killing puppies is bad. It's like, you know, you don't have to go to those lengths to. I think we get it, right? We already know, and
right.
It's not the idea; it's the execution, right? At the end of the day, and man, if you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, and you're still a little skeptical, watch a few minutes, watch some clips, and anyway,
it should make you mad, huh? It should make you mad. Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
Okay, it's bad.
All right, let's see a couple more, and then we'll move over to YouTube. Tons of people here tonight. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's see. We got Derek. Hi, Mike and Ash. Hello. Thanks for being here. Paul says, I'm French American. Not okay. Let's see.
There you go. Confirm.
Even French Americans, not okay. Not okay.
I'm going to quote you.
Not okay. There you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then over to YouTube. We got YouTube was broken to start. So again, duct tape on the fly, fixed it up. Eli gets first on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. We get Cedric, Eli from Washington. Cedric, a quick second. I'm going to be the king of the pirates. All right. You got it. Cindy from Tennessee. I have no idea what that means, the pirates, but okay.
Yeah, that's going to haunt me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is that? Coming. Yeah. Cindy from Tennessee. We got Rolf, hey mates, and we got Eddie from Las Vegas. Thanks for showing up. Hello. All right. Let's do it. Let's get to the news. Let's start with this one. Oh, geez. All right, let's start with this one. This is too good because, you know, we're in election season and this is exactly the type of garbage that they're stuffing down our throats. I thought this was too hilarious. I've been adding Babylon Bee to the news here because it's just too funny. Now, Babylon Bee is like The Onion. It's actual satire. So everybody relax. This is not entirely true. It's just mostly true. But it's funny as hell. Here we go, dropping this link. And this is reported by the Babylon Bee. And if anybody's been paying attention to the news cycles and all the stupid things that the politicians have been saying, and of course, like I said, pissing me off, stooping to a new low, the media, by actually politicizing an actual pandemic and a couple 100,000 people dead, hundreds of thousands the world over, and we're here politicizing this. Yeah, it pisses me off quite a bit. But anyway, here we go. Here's the article itself, and reported by the Babylon Bee, and it says the headline reads this: Biden says Trump is responsible for all deaths throughout human history since the dawn of time. Yeah, I mean, this he basically made it. This is referencing a comment that Joe Biden made, saying that if Trump wasn't president, nobody would have died from COVID or some shit like this, right? He did say something.
Whoa, nobody.
Yeah,
not a single. But yeah, nobody.
That's why they're making fun of him here. Yeah. I mean, duh. Come on. I just thought it's just too funny. Like, I guess once when you get the Google kind of feeding your news feed there. Once I clicked on one Babylon Bee, now I just get Babylon Bee all day, every day, and it's hilarious. So we'll add these into the mix because satire.
I don't know because remember the debates? Hillary Clinton goes, by the end of this, I feel like I'm going to be blamed for everything, right? And Trump goes, "Why not?" So I don't know. Why not? Just to shoot it right back at Trump. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
Why not? Why
yeah,
not?
yeah, I have no idea. Sean says King of the Pirates as well. We got two King of the Pirates. I have no idea what we're talking about.
There can't be two kings.
Yeah,
oh no, it's about to get squirrely. It's gonna
Seriously.
get crazy. In the
I'm not
chat.
going to read this, but we get the idea, right? We get the idea. Biden says Trump is responsible for all deaths throughout human history since the dawn of time. Well, of course, that can't be true because, well, math and, the human lifespan. But, haha. Funny satire. Go Babylon B. You're hilarious. All right, what do you got for news, Ash? Let's do an actual news story.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, it's just kind of you had a funny one. I have a lot of doom and gloom here. So let's do a little doom and gloom and then we'll switch over. So let's do the Guardian, the birds.
The birds, you got it. The birds, but not the bees this time. This is just the birds. Here we go. Reported by the Guardian. Go right ahead, sir.
No, I think there's a bee crisis too, but
that's true.
Birds falling out of the sky in mass die-off in southwestern U.S. So, yeah, they claim that wildfires and climate change was cited as possible deaths of thousands of migrating species heading south for the winter. So they weren't able to kind of determine why they died. They just kind of started dying. I'm not sure if it's from like falling out of the air and just landing, like, you know what I mean? Just crashing to the ground or just naturally dying. But they weren't able to find like a sickness or anything like that. So, of course, they're just going to pin it on climate change. And of course, it's climate change. It's like, well, what part of climate change? What are you talking about? I really think, well, I have my theory. I'd like to hear yours, Mike. What do you think? What do you think
I think this one's a little more obvious. Okay, so here we go. So the headline is birds falling out of the sky in mass die-off in southwestern U.S., okay? And then the subheadline, wildfires and climate crisis cited as possible causes for the deaths of thousands of migrating species heading south for the winter. And I think the obvious one is that birds are, very small. They're very susceptible to dirty air, right? Like when you burn the thing up and they got to fly through it. Like we have just like people have a hard time breathing dirty air. These guys got to fly through it because they're migrating for the winter, right? So they can't stay where they're at or they'll freeze or whatever. Like they have to literally be in the right place at the right time, and they're stuck traveling during these huge fires. Where I don't know if I know Ash is East Coast-ish, but like out here in Vegas, like we still have like cloud, not cloud cover, but like smoke cover that looks like clouds from these fires in California. So if literally it's been all up and down California, we're talking about Oregon, we're talking about Washington State, we're talking about the entire West Coast is just covered in wildfires. So my opinion, I think this one's easy, is that you can say that they're dying, they're like being choked out as they're trying to migrate, like during their migratory season. That's my opinion. I don't know. It just seems like this one's kind of a slam dunk to me. But again, I think that just what they say there, wildfires and climate crisis cited, right? So it's like, you can't just say the wildfires, it's got to be the climate crisis, because that's what caused the wildfires, which, so the climate crisis is killing the birds. So anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
And we talked about that previously, where the UN was literally running out of money. So whether the climate change is real or not, I'm not going to argue for that. And I think there is some exaggerations and there's some room where we don't know. Things are definitely changing. And so the UN was running out of money. We proved this on the show. And they released articles talking about what they were talking about, which was that they needed money. So they were going to use climate change as an excuse to raise funds. So since that point, we've seen every possible thing because of climate change. But yeah, the fires make sense. Well, here's another one. Here's something we've been tracking for a while. Birds are affected by the magnetic field of the planet, and the poles have been shifting dramatically, and it's been an exponential process. We actually stopped hearing about it when it started ramping up, and we haven't heard about it, I don't know, in like 4 months? So it's possible that field, these changes are affecting these birds. It's also possible that these changes are what's causing the fires, right? As the field weakens, solar emissions will actually reach the surface and warm up the surface more. So a lot of these things that climate change and all this stuff can actually be explained by this pole shifting. So I don't have definitive evidence one way or another, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. And if something like that was going to happen, they wouldn't really tell us because they're not exactly sure what's going to happen when it does happen. And so, yeah, you don't want to spook everyone, right? Or, I mean, maybe it's the reason they've been building these underground bases, prepping for it. So, yeah, this is not the largest one on record. It goes on to say that the largest event on record in the region was a snowstorm in Minnesota and Iowa in March 1904 that killed 1.5 million birds. That's sad.
That's a lot of damn birds.
I mean, it could be anything else. It doesn't have to be the crazy pole shifting, but I mean, like keeping tabs on that thing, there's some clues leading in that direction.
Yeah, again, like birds are pretty frail little things, and so I think it's pretty obvious it's the wildfires here. Speaking of which, Elizabeth, who lives in Oregon, says the smoke was so toxic in Oregon it was like breathing tar and yellow smoke. So I think that probably does it, right? So the ash and the smoke goes up, and the birds are flying through it, and there you go. I think we have an unfortunate disaster here that quote climate crisis caused this. Yeah. A couple more shout outs. We got Hey You on YouTube. I see you there. Space Pirates. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what the reference is. It's funny though. Space Pirates is funny. Edgar, what's up? Says the air is thick with ash. Ash. There you go. Penny, am I in the Twilight Zone?
I'm all around you,
exactly.
Messing stuff up.
Exactly. Penny from the UK, am I in the Twilight Zone? Sunday night, troubled minds. Yep, just making up for Friday. We had a problem there, but the problem resolved. We're back. Tinfoil Timothy University on Facebook. I see that. Thanks for showing up. We got who else? Peter. We got, let's see, who else? Okay, we're good. All right. So yeah, I mean, this is not something kind of out of the ordinary. I think this is, when you get huge wildfire seasons, this is kind of what happens. People are saying 5G in the chat, like kind of saying that 5G is killing the birds. Maybe. I think we'll have to see some of these 5G studies that they're going to be so forthcoming with, right? When they decide to actually release what the radiation levels of 5G might be. Yeah. Anyway, okay. What do you guys think is the cause here? You think it's 5G? You think it's wildfires or whatever's going on? You know what to do because it's live. You can be part of the show. Let me put up the phone number and we'll move on to the next news story here. It's 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link. You can go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Find the Discord and the phone number. And there you go. That's what we're talking about tonight. And that's what we're doing. And some more conspiracy. So let's see. What do we got next? What is next? How about this one? Speaking of climate change, I got two in a row here to back this one up here. So let me, I'm dropping this link and you guys can check this out. Speaking of climate change, we have this clock in New York. Yeah, well, there's lots of clocks in New York, just like any other place in the world, right? But this is reported by the entrepreneurfund.com. And it came from the New York Times, but their assholes don't have a paywall, so I found it somewhere else. Fuck off, New York Times. Pardon my French. It's French, you wouldn't understand. All right, here we go. We have the Entrepreneur Fund. The headline is this: a New York clock that told time now tells the time remaining. So they have a clock here that used to tell the time on this building, right? And instead, they've changed the clock to be the countdown to... Here we go. Just read some of the article. For more than 20 years, Metronome, which includes a 62-foot-wide, 15-digit electronic clock that faces Union Square in Manhattan, has been one of the city's most prominent and baffling public art projects. Its digital display once told the time in its own unique way, counting the hours, minutes, and seconds, and fractions thereof to and from midnight. But for years, observers who did not understand how it worked suggested that it was measuring the acres of rainforest destroyed each year, tracking the world population, or even that it had something to do with pi. Pi, pi, the mathematical pi, not the, in your pie hole, not that pi, different pi. On Saturday, Metronome adopted a new ecologically sensitive mission. Now, instead of measuring 24-hour cycles, it is measuring what two artists, Gan Golan and Andrew Boyd, present as a critical window for action to prevent the effects of a global warming from becoming irreversible. So we have, instead of a clock that's keeping track of whatever the hell it's keeping track of, because it's not even a clock you can read, well, now it's like counting down backwards, kind of like the doomsday clock, and it's public, and WTF, people. I wonder where they got the data from. You think that this is a scientific consensus of 99.7% of all scientists out there? Oh, geez. Okay. Anyway. So I wanted to point to. I thought it was pretty funny that. So not only is it no longer a clock, it's now a countdown to Climategeddon. All right, here we go. So then, as if that's not bad enough, right? We're doing propaganda here, the straight kick you in the teeth type propaganda. Here we go. This is reported by Wired.com, and this gets crazy. This gets even more crazy. The headline is this: Geoengineering is the only solution to our climate calamities. And so altering Earth's geophysical environment is a moonshot, and it will be the only way to reverse the damage done. It's time to take it more seriously. What the F?
Here's what we need to do, Mike. We need to go to another planet, breed a workforce, and mine gold. Bring it back to our planet and pump it into the atmosphere. That's what we need to do.
Does that work?
It's a cycle, man. It's a cycle. It's just and then there eventually will become a civilization, and then they'll need gold, and they'll go to another planet, and it's just a cycle, man. It just happens. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about the old Sumerian text that was translated by Zechariah and Sitchin, right? And that's supposedly is Sitchin. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, you got it. Sitchin.
Oh, well, nice. Well, that's supposedly the Sumerian tablets, the oldest written text of humanity. What happened? So now we're kind of experiencing this potential climate calamity. And what's ironic, though, is that we love gold. Maybe gold is the only solution, but we value it so much, we would never pump it into the atmosphere. We'd rather die.
We'd rather breathe molten gold. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. This is crazy. This is nutters to me. So I mean, we literally have people suggesting, okay, and I'm not going to give them the dignity of reading the rest of this article because this is just dumb. This is dumb. Geoengineering is the only solution to our climate calamities, right? Think about the wording of this. Is the only solution, right? There's literally nothing we can do anymore at this point. We just have to start pumping ash into the sky, right, to blot out the sun to cool the earth down. How could that go wrong? How could that go wrong? Pumping ash into the sky. There's only so much ash to go around, isn't there, Ash?
You guys can't just pump me at will, okay?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You got to be cautious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like we would need the spray into the atmosphere. We could use planes. And it's going to leave a trail, but it's chemical, so we can call it chemtrails.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Now this is the funny part, right? In the conspiracy theory community, they've been talking about geoengineering for a very long time, and they've been using that term chemtrails as hey, look, guys, geoengineering is already happening, right? And then so the scientists and the media and the government, they all roll their eyes and go, yeah, whatever, this shit's not happening. But look, right here in the open, we got on Wired.com. This is this is today, 9/20, September 20th, 2020. Geoengineering is the only solution to our climate calamities, right? So, okay, so if we have people trying to push this propaganda now, do you think that maybe this has been going on for some time and they're not talking about it? Possibly, maybe. I mean, this stuff really pisses me off.
The government would never do something in secret, Mike.
Never.
I mean, I know chemtrails is a hot topic conspiracy theory. People like to deny it. But there's some good evidence, like catching pilots spraying stuff and then talking to them after they're done. There's literally a pilot who said they were accusing him of chemtrail spraying. And he had the rig on his plane. He was spraying something. And they're like, why are you doing this? Whatever. And then under his breath, clear as day, he says, well, it's a necessary evil. And they're like, what? What did you just say? And he wouldn't talk anymore. So I remember watching that video and being like, huh. And then if you, there's another woman who did research where if you see kind of like an amber in the sky, that's the chemical that they're spraying. It's like, I don't know exactly what it is. It's like mercury or something. And it reacts with the atmosphere. It has that red tint. And I remember seeing that. I'm on the East Coast of Mars. And I remember seeing it in the sky and being like, huh, this is exactly what she was talking about. So I don't know what it is. I'm sure if you Google some woman talking about chemtrails, you'll find her. But I mean, who knows? I wouldn't put it past their government. If there's an issue, they're just going to do it. Like, right? They're going to weigh the pros and cons of human life. That's what they do all day. And they're going to be like, well, if we can save 20 people, we'll sacrifice 3. They're always going to make that call. So who knows? Just, don't keep your mind open.
Keep your mind open. Except not only that, except you can't really like anticipate 20 people dying either. So I think that's the problem, right? So if you're like, well, we're going to save 20, but 3 will die, you can't really anticipate what's going to happen tomorrow, especially since, and I think given what we've seen this year in 2020, right, with this pandemic and the whole deal, and whatever you think about it, you can't really think of what nature's going to be doing in 2021 or 2025 or 2030. We have no freaking idea, right? Like we think we do. We want to. It seems like we have this human basis of things have been the way they are, and so we assume that they're going to be that way in the future. But it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way because perfect example, pandemic, bam, nature decides, or Wuhan lab decides, whatever it was, right? However you want to call it here. But like people are part of nature. And so even if we created this virus and released it out into the world, right, we are still a part of nature. And so there's no way to know. There's no way to know. So okay, what if we start going into a mini ice age in like 2030 after we've started pumping a bunch of shit into the sky to like block out the sun, right? Then we're going to like murder way more people than we would have if we had let it fly. You know what I mean? It's so dumb. It's again, the hubris of people where we think we understand everything about nature when really we're like just taking data and making our best guess. And that's not, I mean, come on. Like, is that really enough to like change the environment through geoengineering at this point? I think this is grotesquely irresponsible. I think this is something we shouldn't even be talking about as a solution to anything. And yeah, just it pisses me off quite a lot. We got some good chat to read here. Let me call the phone number back in. We keep having this thing where Google Voice drops in the phone. So take just a couple seconds to maybe top off your ice. I'm going to call in the phone line back up here, and we'll keep on moving.
Do your thing, man. Do it.
Doing it.
Thank you for calling Troubled Minds.
We don't have to like let it go.
Caller ID authorized as a host.
Talk over it and be a mess.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Yeah, exactly.
Show recording is on. Dual channel.
Okay, there we go. So we're good. We're back. Phone lines are back up. So if you tried to call in and it didn't work, you know why. The Google Voice dropped. One more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. You can find all of that stuff there. And there we go. Okay, so geoengineering is the only solution to our climate calamities. Nice headline, you assholes at Wired. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Okay, what do we got? What do we got for your news there,
Ash? Speaking of assholes, let's talk about China.
Okay.
And not perfect. The Chinese people, the CCP, right?
Let's the CCP. There we CCP. Go. There we go.
Let's be more specific.
All right.
So it's the express.co.uk.
Perfect.
World War III fears. Guys, it's 2020, so you knew this was coming. World War III fears. China unveils terrifying laser weapons as arms race with U.S. ramps up. So China and the U.S. are building up their high-energy laser capabilities for naval applications in a military arms race. So I don't know if you guys know, but with that sweet trade money that they've been extracting from our country, they've been using it to build their military. Why do you think our government is suddenly like, wait, what the hell? We need to do something because this is an issue. And we are basically in a Cold War with China, like whether you realize it or not. And so laser weapons, this is the kind of thing that our American military would have, probably already does have, claims they don't have, right? And hides it. But China is in a place where it's trying to puff up its power to kind of intimidate America and also gain the benefits. So they're trying to kind of overcome us militarily. And so, they get the freaking laser weapons. They just start popping off about them. And yeah, it's kind of scary. Like China's building up their military. They got future laser stuff. Supposedly there's like a secret space force or space program going on in China. And that's why we kind of have to ramp up with Space Force. So yeah, it's pretty scary stuff.
Dun dun dun. World War III. World War III. I tell you what. Yeah, I mean, it's so we know that the CCP is on the move. We know that they really don't value human rights. We really know we already know they have like a 1,000-year plan, and it's a little bit terrifying when the rest of the world is squabbling amongst themselves, and the CCP has put the boot down on the Chinese people on their neck, and they're trying to put their boot down on the rest of the world's neck, proverbial neck. And so it's not. This is not good. This is not a good thing. So you kind of wonder how much is propaganda and how much is like true, because like the CCP is on the move. They're doing their thing. Like that's something we watch very closely because nobody talks about it. Again, think about the last 4 years, right? Just the election cycle and the mainstream media and all the garbage they're always like trying to force feed us, right? It's always Russia, 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 right? Russia's the bad guy. Why do you think nobody ever brings up China? Or if they do, it just kind of comes and goes real fast and then it fades away. Why do you think that is? Anybody know? Yeah, because
why would you give up your sweet money, man? Why would you give up that sweet money?
Exactly. There's so many people the world over, Hollywood included, right? Like huge industries. The NBA, we saw that recently, where they have so many people in China. They have a huge market in China, where Hollywood, for instance, they will make concessions to China to get these movies into to the Chinese audience, right? So we've talked about that quite often. The NBA in particular, China is a very basketball centric type of country where they enjoy it. They enjoy basketball quite a bit. It's like one of probably their largest sport as far as I'm aware. I don't know. I've never been to China, probably never going to go to China because they probably have me on a list and they'll snatch me up and turn me into dog food. But yeah, somebody in China is watching, I can tell you that. But that's the thing, right? So like they're doing these things. And it's right there, obviously, in front of our face. The NBA, they smacked them down. And so because they said, well, we won't air you in China. And you lose a shit ton of revenue. And so the NBA caves, right? Same thing with Hollywood. Same thing with everybody. Everybody's on the take, right? And they're instead
Congress.
of like, yeah, exactly. Like don't even get me started on the Mitch McConnell's ties to China and his wife, Elaine Chao. Don't even get me started. If you never heard of it, look into it. Elaine Chao, Mitch McConnell, China.
Mitch McConnell, huh?
Mitch McConnell. Elaine Chao's his wife. She's a dual citizen with the United States and China. And Mitch McConnell is super rich from dirty dealings with China. Look into it. I promise it's a thing. Okay, so, all right. Anyway, so you get the point, right? Is this propaganda? What is this? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. This is we'll shit on China more. Because we
all day,
bro. Kind of what
we do. Every time.
It's kind of what we do.
It goes on to say that the U.S., China, Israel, France, Germany, and Russia have all been researching the laser weapons for some time. A Hong Kong-based military commentator, ooh, that's interesting, Hong Kong military commentator, Song Zongping, I think I nailed it, I think I got it, said laser weapons have the potential to change the face of warfare. Speaking to the South China Morning Post, he says, an arms race of laser weapons has long begun. The U.S. has a more solid technical foundation, but China is working to narrow the gap. And that's basically it. China's working to narrow the gap. They're trying to steal our tech, our Hollywood, everything, all our assets. They're trying to deface us. And goddamn, they have the people to do it. They have a lot of freaking people over there. I don't think most Americans realize how outnumbered we are. So, yeah, just keep an eye on China. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep reporting stuff. And when we stop, that means it's over. Once we stop, they shut us down. It's over, man. Like, because we got nothing to lose. Like, screw it. We'll just talk about it. It's the right thing to do. If we can't talk about it, it's screwed. Like, you know what I'm saying, Mike? Like, we're either off the air or something. So, yeah, as long as people keep talking, it's kind of okay, right? And once you stop hearing about it completely, that's the terrifying part. And it's slowly ratcheting down. They're slowly closing the loop here. But I don't know. I'm a little optimistic. I think that China's been kind of doing its own thing for a long time, but I think America's really kind of woken up to it. There's a lot of policy changes and a lot of things going on. So I'm hopeful. I hope we don't go to war. Obviously not going to be good, but I think we are definitely in a Cold War.
Yeah, at the very least. Todd here says U.S. has had laser weapons for years already. And yeah, these are directed energy weapons. What's up, Bailey? See you on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. It's This stuff is crazy. This stuff is nuts. Like we played this on the last one where we admitted that China and Russia have directed energy weapons. They have killer satellites. Oh, and by the way, we have them too. And the air dominance platform, whatever that was, right? We played that in the last show. So I mean, this stuff is happening. This like again, it's escalating as always. And who knows? Who knows where we're headed? Who knows? Let's hope it's not war again.
Oh, wait. You're saying there's laser weapons attached to satellites?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Oh, like what was George Bush
the Star Wars
Junior? He was Star Wars. Wow, or was that Reagan?
That was Reagan.
Wow, Reagan. You don't think they did it?
Yeah, exactly. That's a long ass time ago.
It's a long ass time ago. Yeah. You guys don't think they did it? And I've seen pictures of laser weapons hitting the ground in some of the California fires and stuff like that. We live in a time where you can't freaking believe photos anymore, which is super frustrating. But who's to say they're not real? And this kind of adds a little validity to it. Anyway, crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff, exactly. So there we go. And again, what do you guys think? So they did admit that they have directed energy weapons. They exist, right? They've been part of the conspiracy circle for every time the California wildfires hit, right? In the West Coast, it kind of every summer it turns to tinder and just burns up a bunch of acres. The directed energy weapons come up. Deborah Tavares of StopTheCrime.net, I mentioned her last show as well. Like she's always saying that she believes that there's some sort of actual war going on from space. And so she's maybe not said directly, but she's kind of implied that maybe China or Russia or some of these other folks are just shooting lasers from the sky. I can't verify that, of course. I'm just telling you what other people say. But I mean, yeah. And not only that, if you can't say the protesters that are burning down Portland, the city, right, are doing it, because how dare they go outside the city and light a fire when they're okay lighting fires inside the city, right? It doesn't make sense that they draw their lines. But anyway, you can't say that either, because right, you get taken down off the internet. Anyway,
yeah, like Joe Rogan got doxxed for basically saying that.
Did he?
Yeah, they're going after him right now because he's got that Spotify deal, and he had mentioned that some of the Antifa protesters, not the protesters, guys. The troublemakers, okay?
Yeah, the actual rioters. Like protesting and rioting are two very different things. We just seem to conflate the shit out of it.
Exactly. It's like they do that on purpose. They're like meshing with this crowd. They're trying to recruit people, right? It's obvious that that's the perfect place to go. And supposedly they've kind of caught them, not 100%, but pretty close to starting fires. Trying to burn set like gas lines of flame and stuff like that. The remote viewers that we're going to talk about later, they predicted that there's going to be a bomb, like a couple bombs going off in a major city this month. But shortly afterward, there was a bunch of people arrested for a bombing attempt. So maybe they like stopped it. Like they like literally contacted the police and they stopped it. I don't know. We still got 9 days left. I hope that's the case. They stopped it, but there's still time. And just wanted to let you know that's something that they predicted. I mean, 2 of them got it. Like, maybe even 3. So it was a pretty like hard prediction. So 9 days left. 3 days later, after the video came out, they arrested these guys. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see.
I wonder if that's like the CIA project where they're like, yeah, remote viewing, we got these guys. They arrested them. Thought crimes. Speaking of thought crimes, let's move on to this next one, actually.
Oh, Minority Report, yeah.
Yeah, straight up Minority Report. Like, Ingo Swann said, who's passed away, I believe, but he was one of the original Project Stargate remote viewers that the government had actually used to see things, right? To remote view things. And so let's say, for instance, Ingo Swann says you're about to commit a crime. And so, bam, they kick in the doors, arrest your ass. No crimes committed, right? Again, like I said, you can't really quantify what happens tomorrow, because maybe even if, let's say you were maybe going to do that crime, let's say that the remote viewing was on point, and let's say you were about to do it, but tomorrow you might change your mind, right? Like, you never know. You know what I mean? Like these things, the way these things are, right? It's weird shit. Mm-hmm. Weird shit. You never know.
Maybe you don't run into the guy who pushes you to do it, or you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that's a scary thought. I actually did post that in somewhere else, and that's literally one of the first things that came up, Minority Report. And Yeah, it's crazy. I think as remote viewing becomes more mainstream and it becomes more of a tool, they are using it. They freaking are using. There's no way that they've gone. It's no way they shut down the program and they're just like, oh, that's it. Let's not use that useful thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's throw that shit away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't know. Like as remote viewing becomes like validated in mainstream, we're gonna have like laws about it and shit. That's actually a future I want to be in, though. I think I think humans should use our powers, whatever the hell that means, whatever it is, for good as much as we can. And as long as we set up laws and we hold people accountable, it's cool, So.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's go to the thought police. This is reported by RT.com. Speaking of the enemy of the state, Russia. This is Russia reported by Russia Today. Here we go, dropping this in here, and we got some good chat. We'll catch up on the chat in just a sec. Okay, this is reported by RT Russia Today, and this is basically Minority Report. Check this out. Victoria police could arrest people who might breach COVID lockdown under proposed bill. Might breach. People who have not yet, but may. Right? Okay, here we go. A proposal allowing police to preemptively lock up those they believe might violate coronavirus lockdown measures has gone before the Victoria State Parliament. This is in Australia, of course, with many fearing it opens the door to unprecedented abuses. If passed, the law would allow police to indefinitely detain any Victoria resident who either tests positive for COVID or is in close contact for someone who has, as long as the officer believes they are likely to refuse or fail to comply with quarantine regulations. The state's parliament began hearings on Thursday, but has not issued a public decision as of Friday. And so, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That frog is being boiled. You know how the saying, boil the frog little by little?
Oh, yeah.
That's not little by little. I see something from Australia's Illuminati-ass government like every week, dude. That's some scary shit. You see that pregnant woman who got arrested for posting something on Facebook?
Yeah, I did hear about that. God. Yeah, it's crazy.
This is insane.
And so these are Western countries that are supposed to actually value human rights and autonomy, right? And this is exactly what's going on. This is a little bit scary, guys. Like this is Black Mirror type shit. This is a CCP type stuff. This is the social credit score. This is like thought crimes with the precogs and Philip K. Dick. I mean, this is terrifying. So it's you no longer need.
They're using computer algorithms. That's disgusting.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Which means okay. So for whatever reason, like I'm not anti-mask, wear it. Like if it makes you feel safe, wear it. I don't think there's any harm in it. I actually kind of like the secondary effect, where if you wear the mask, you can't really have like a facial recognition scanning you in public, right? I kind of like that. So that. I'm like, yeah, this is kosher to wear masks now. Fuck yeah, I'm putting on a mask, right? So I'm cool with that. But like, I'm not anti-mask, but because of the type of show we do, right? Like maybe some algorithm somewhere would be like, yep, Michael Strange, this MFer, he might breach some shit, right? And so they kick in my door, boot on my neck. Yeah, who knows? This is terrifying stuff, and so this is really happening. This is supposedly really happening. This is RT, another propaganda source. So who knows? But Australia is getting shit on in the media. So we'll go into that eventually here and get kind of dig into what the hell's going on in Australia, because I'm not fully what would you say, briefed on this. I haven't actually looked into like all the stuff in Australia, but people have called in on the show and mentioned it, and people have mentioned it in the chat. I mean, it's going off the rails. So I know I said I was more familiar with what's happening in the United Kingdom, at least from what I've read. And again, now we're talking about Australia doing similar things. Again, Western countries, guys. These are supposed to be right, the the pinnacle of human rights. And now we're like, nah, we changed our mind on that. No thanks. We're not going to do that shit anymore. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so there you go. I want to point that out. I did link it. You can check it out. Thought crimes, thought police, Victoria police could arrest people who might breach COVID lockdown. And just like Ash said, of course, it's going to be with algorithms, right? They're gonna big data. They're gonna tap into Facebook and Google and all of your behaviors and places you go and things you say, and right, you're gonna be able to team up with the government and do this type of thing. You're gonna have AI gods determining. Yeah, you know how I said that governments all the time, they make those choices between like, one people or two people and 10 people, right? Well, imagine AI for the good of the society making those decisions
1,000 times a second, and about us. So it may read out of the computer, arrest this guy, and it doesn't even freaking have a reason. It's just like, okay, what you need to know about these AI systems is that once they get running to a certain complexity, we don't understand them anymore because they're like beyond human computation. So we're moving toward this like AI god that ambiguously just decides things for us. And it's basically a deity, right? It's like a black box deity, and we trust its judgment because we programmed it, and it decides our futures. And man, that's some dystopia shit. We need to kind of stand up. Like, we need to support Australia. We need to stop it early, because we don't want them to get data. We don't want, because what will happen is they'll run it for a while. They'll show crime drop 5% or whatever the hell it is. They'll write about it in all the Illuminati controlled media. They'll make a really good case for it. And then they'll go to all the other governments and they'll be like, well, it's a no brainer. And then it's everywhere. That's kind of the playbook. So we need to kind of stand up now, wherever it's happening.
Yeah, it's too late. By the time they're kicking in doors and putting boots on necks, it's too late. It's far too late for that. Like in Australia, if this whatever bill they're talking about actually passes, it's too late. Because again, so Bailey's got a good comment here on YouTube. So I want to know how they judge that someone might break lockdown. Maybe that ties directly into the remote viewing news, right? And so maybe, right? Exactly like we were saying. Like Ingo Swan says, you're gonna light off a bomb tomorrow, and so we arrest you with a pre-crime. Like, so it's not even thought crimes anymore. It's not even thinking about doing something terrible is enough. It's like, we think you might do it, and so we have enough relevant information to act on it based on big data, right? Because again, it's no secret that they're doing the algorithms to read our minds. They want so much data on us that they know when our habits change. They know what's going on in our life before we do. And so that's entirely the goal. And so if they can read our minds through just every single data point by big data, making data points out of your life and everything you do and say and who you communicate with and where you go, if your habits change, they tend to know. And so, yeah, I mean, this is scary stuff. This is scary stuff. Definitely. Okay. So what's the next one, Ash? What do we got next?
Let's see here. Okay, let's go to something a little bit more positive, I guess. Just a little bit more.
All right.
Let's go to the astronomy.com.
Got it. Go ahead.
And that was good. That was a good point you had, by the way. And so water found in habitable super Earth atmosphere for the first time. Orbiting around a relatively docile red dwarf star, the exoplanet is the best candidate for habitability that we know of right now. So, once the planet starts getting locked down, a new world order comes, let's freaking go here. Exoplanet K2-18b.
For the next world order. The next world order, baby. Woo! Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To take some time to build that up, So let's you got a little while before they come. It's kind of like where how America was started, right? We escaped, and then we kind of had our own thing, and then we had we rebelled against them because no taxation without representation. So let's start it. It's cyclical. Let's get to the next one. Let's see, how far away is this thing, Dubs?
It's too far.
It's
too far.
I mean,
exoplanet just means too far. Just too far.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stats here. Specifically, the paper suggests K2-18b has a temperature between minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 116 degrees Fahrenheit. For reference, temperatures on Earth can span from below 120 to above 120. So this is an even smaller range. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know how this planet would not have life on it already, though. With panspermia or something.
Yeah, you would think.
Maybe it does.
Again, with the phosphine on Venus, right? Like Venus being a hellscape that's got like a 900 degree Fahrenheit temperature. I mean, of course. Like if you get like these Goldilocks type exoplanets, this is like what's that movie with the Avatar? Well, it's like Avatar, right? Like these. You got a good idea, right? Like, we hate to say it because we don't want to say it as like a scientific community. But mathematically, there's life out there. If it's habitable for us, it's probably teeming with life. So yeah, whatevs. So maybe we can get there.
I mean, they've told you everything, but They've told you everything but at this point. It's like they're literally checking all the boxes except for like, yes, we found life. Everything else is checked. So it's only one more step, and who's to say it's soft disclosure, hard disclosure? Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe people are trying to get off the planet. Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars. Maybe he should be going to. Yeah, I can't remember that name at all. Hold on. K218b. We should leave that name.
K218b.
K218b.
I need a tattoo. It says K218b. Okay, there we go. So habitable super Earth, good. That's good. That's a good thing. We got water. We got all the things we need. The best candidate for habitability that we know right now. It's just freaking days away. Many days away. More than human lifetimes, of course. Okay, so anyway, let's see. What else do we got? If you guys want to be part of the show, you know what to do. This is live. It's Sunday night. If you want to be part of the show, we're talking about just kind of kicking through the news and talking about what's going on in the world today. And not only that, kind of in a non-political way, hopefully. And, because, we have to talk about this or that once in a while. But, we try and avoid all that same garbage that the mainstream throws at you. And so we're talking about that. So if you want to, we want to hear your take. We do this live intentionally for that reason, because we want to hear from you. If you want to give us a call, 702-957-1037. That's a Las Vegas area code. You can click the Discord link, which is a free chat client and a voice client. You can get on the show that way as well. And you can find both the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And so we'll just kick it for a minute and chop it up and maybe pour another cold beer. And we'll wait for you guys to call. Any thoughts on the news thus far, Ash, or how you feeling tonight?
I mean, it's pretty mild for 2020. I'm kind of a little optimistic. That was great. It wasn't as bad as it, you know what I'm saying? As far as 2020 news goes, it wasn't too bad. So I'm sure it's election time, so that's going to congest everything. I was like already sick of everything like a year ago. So it's like, oh, just get it over with. But whatever side you guys are on, that's not our meat and potatoes, right? We're not here to pick a side and fight with everything. This is a place where we can all get together and talk about weirder stuff, talk about things that we don't normally talk about. But we can all agree, both sides, this election is crazy, and it's kind of scary how it's like escalating. Things are escalating. It's like a world. It's world turbulence, with China and Australia, New World Order, fires, the election going on, and like parts of the government battling each other. It's just kind of a crazy year, and I'm just kind of looking forward to it to be over. 2020 is just too round of a number. Something about it sketches me out. So, have you guys? How's your year been, guys? How have you guys been? Been good? You had a good year so far? Staying home with your family with COVID?
Stop it.
Tell us about it.
Quit rubbing it in. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link if you guys want to get on the show. It almost seems like the show never really starts until Joe calls from Florida. So you're on the clock, buddy. Give us a call. Okay, so
I was just thinking that.
It kind of never starts until Joe calls. Okay, Diane, I see you on Facebook. Thanks for showing up. A couple shout outs. We got Derek on YouTube. Thanks for being here tonight. We got who else? Penny says my t-shirts arrived. All right. How they look? What's going on with the t-shirts? So we actually have Troubled Minds merch. If you guys want to go to YouTube and check it out, there's a link right there on top of the YouTube video. And Penny was the first one to order. She ordered some t-shirts with the Troubled Minds logo there with the alien and the yellow and the thing and the whatever. So yeah, I'm glad to hear. And not only that, Penny lives in the United Kingdom, so it ships internationally in many cases. So you can check that out. There's a link on Troubled Minds. To the YouTube channel, and then I will get a proper link on Troubled Minds. I don't have it yet, but yeah, there you go. So merch is up if you guys are interested. If you want to help support the show, that's the way to do it. And there are costs to the show, so basically everything you do goes straight to the damn show, because it does cost. The phone line cost, the hosting cost. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with those details, but yeah. Anyway, there you go. Check that out. If you want to call one more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and let's move on to some other news here. What do? We did Super Earth here, so let's do what else do we got? We did geoengineering. We did let's see. How about this? This is a little bit more lighthearted. obvious conspiracy, but it's nice to see some normies are waking up to it. And this is reported by digitalspy.com, and that's just a dirty name, you digitalspy.com, whatever. But this is everybody's seen that movie with Solo, Star Wars, right? Solo, a Star Wars story, right? So they had that guy, and here we go. Headline reads this. Solo, a Star Wars story actor, hits back at really effing dangerous claims about box office failure. It grossed almost $400 million, right? But they were blasting the shit out of it because they said that the
lead was a male.
No.
Right?
We ain't there yet.
I heard that.
Really?
Okay.
Han Solo should have been female?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Because there's a lot of female leads, and things were doing well, and
this is Han Solo.
Those movies were doing well.
You can't retcon Han Solo to a female. Come on, man. Okay, anyway.
I know. I don't know what the hell their point was. It didn't make any sense. But
it doesn't make any sense. Okay, anyway, so just to point it out. So this guy's an actor. Good or not is up to you. I'll reserve judgment. But he says now his name is this guy's name is Alden Ehrenreich. I can't even say it. Okay. Anyway, this is the quote. That movie, he says, it didn't do as well as other Star Wars movies, but it still did well for a movie, he pointed out. But of course, the press was shitting on it and saying the worst Star Wars movie ever, because they're pointing at the box office, right? Still made close to $500 million or some other thing, which is like an incredibly huge box office. And so he continues. And so it was kind of this medium thing, but it's not newsworthy. Even at high-level journalism, there's an intense pressure sometimes, it feels like, to catastrophize or celebrate. And I think that's really effing dangerous, especially when it pertains to the stuff that really matters, like the state of the world. And he's basically talking about the clickbait press and how they're a bunch of lying sack bastards that really shouldn't be doing news. And he's right. He's completely right. Like, I thought it was nice that somebody actually spoke out from within Hollywood, and they're like, shut the F up, like, why don't you guys actually do something useful and stop just clickbait bullshit, shitting on people, right? If you're either celebrating something or you're shitting on somebody else, and that's it, right? People are bleeding or people are not bleeding. That's it, right? That's really it. That's what the news today, and he's completely right, and pretty nuts.
Well,
pretty nuts.
That movie didn't do as much as it could have done is because this, I wasn't really a big Star Wars person before everything, but I watched The Last Jedi with my uncle, and he was super excited for it. He grew up in that time. He's older than I am, and he was so excited for it. And I literally watched the smile fade away from his face. Like, he was like sat down like a kid. I haven't seen him like that in a long time, and it just faded over time because that movie was like terrible. It was like made in a corporate, watered down.
That's horrible, the middle one, right? Yeah, the Last Jedi is the middle one. Yeah, that was awful. It was
so bad.
That was awful.
They didn't even know
about.
They didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know about. It like didn't even make sense. It's like so many things didn't make sense. A lot of movies can have that. You can kind of ignore a few of things, but the whole thing, and then what they did to Luke. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, ugh. And then, so by the time the next movie came out, people were like, screw this crap, and that movie suffered because of it. But that movie wasn't that bad. I watched it. It was pretty good, actually. I enjoyed it. It's a good story.
Which one?
And
Solo?
It had the chick. Yeah, it had the chick from Game of Thrones in it. She did it. Everyone did a great job. I think it could have been a little bit better, but
I agree. It was not bad. It was not bad. Yeah. I was actually shitting on it before I saw it because I was like, this is going to suck because The Last Jedi sucked. This is going to suck. And it wasn't. It surprised me. It wasn't terrible. And Todd says it failed because of the train wreck, which was The Last Jedi. Solo movie was great. There we go. It was a great movie. Yeah.
Derek Perrin says, I am so tired of the Hollywood with their political correct agenda. That movie forced it down our throats. Yeah, I felt like there was like a potentially good movie there, and they just it was like a board meeting just tore that thing apart.
Yeah, Chewie's a vegan, and it's like the little.
Oh, really? No, he was eating poros, right?
No, they didn't let him. They didn't let him because the one was sad that he was eating his buddy, so he didn't even get to eat it. They made Chewie a vegan. I mean, anyway, it's just come on. If you want to be a vegan, all for you. Like, go for it. Like, none of that stuff bothers me. Personal choices, but holy crap, the propaganda that revolves around this stuff is just insane. Okay.
Yeah.
And including these movies.
And if you guys don't know it, we did episodes on the UN. We read a bunch of UN documents. A lot of these agendas that you see that you're like, what the hell? What's going on here? Those are agendas that were they're in UN documents, like getting rid of the genders, stuff like that. Those are like things that they talked about in their documents from a long time ago. And so you're just seeing like their agendas play out. That's why it's important for us as a population to keep tabs on these people and like what they're doing, right? Because it's like in Australia, it can be too late sometimes. So it's just a shame. I mean, how can you take like the Star Wars is like the best franchise ever? How can you take the biggest, best in franchise and just fuck that up so hard? I don't know.
Yeah, we got a good comment here on YouTube. Bailey says people can be PC if they want, as long as they don't force everyone else to do it. I agree 100%. Like that's autonomy, right? Like you are able to do and live the way you want to live. And that's really what the Bill of Rights is about. That's really what this country, the United States of America, is about. It's about what Western culture is about, right? It's about autonomy. It's about being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and not having big government step in or the mob step in or whatever, like the thought police step in and change what you're doing, right? It's a good thing. It's fine. Like I have no problem with people. If you want to live a PC life, do it. Like if it makes you happy and makes you feel productive, and it is in many cases, do it. Like I'm all for it. Go do it. But again, it's kind of like religion, right? Like you can't really ever take religion and just like force somebody else to do it because you think it's best, like nobody's buying that. Nobody will ever buy that. And that's what's happening with this. So you know what I mean? So like, it's not, don't think of it in terms
like
of
your wokeness. It doesn't create value. Like you being woke is not a value. It's like, be a valuable person to your community, to your friends. Yeah. Write a good, like it could be woke as much as you want, as long as it's a good movie. It's a good story, right? It's like Black Panther. They made such a big deal, African-American superhero movie. What the hell? What are you talking about? Blade was like the first superhero movie. Wesley Snipes, man, that movie was awesome. So I don't know. It's, the saying, Mike, have you heard of this saying? You go woke, you go broke.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. Okay, so again, like again, do your thing, Like I just don't care. I don't care about telling people how to live their life. Like that's the thing. But it's the reverse from a lot of this, and not just this crowd, this PC crowd. It's like everybody else too, telling them not to be. I don't care. Be it. Just don't force it. Like shoehorn it in every damn movie, and every damn article, and every damn everything. It's just disgusting. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. Chuck says we're going to talk aliens and UFOs soon. Hey, man, this is a long show, and we do this for you. The reason why we do the long show, check it out. Let me explain. Yeah. This is why we do it long, because we want to include you. If you want to call right this second, Chuck, and you want to talk about aliens and UFOs, get your ass in here. 702-957-1037. That's why we kind of do
space pirate.
Yeah, be the space pirate. Exactly.
Grab the wheel.
Grab the
be the space pirate.
Grab the show by the horns. Exactly. That's why we do it, because we want to include you. We don't, because here's the thing. We could do like an hour show, take no calls, and just talk about aliens for an hour and be done, right? You get your aliens up front, and but would you really be more happy than able to call in and contribute and be part of the conversation, So again, like there's pros and cons to everything, but that's why we do this. So yeah, we're going to get to it. Let's see. I'll call out the time when we're going to start talking about aliens and the pyramids and the rest of that. About 15 minutes. Okay. We go about half the show talking about.
You're going to want to hang out for that.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to hang out for
that. We're going to point out stuff that no one else has. Well, at least publicly.
Hopefully.
Yeah, publicly. So it's going to be a doozy. We're going to talk about some aliens. Hopefully it's pretty convincing, and it may just be the answer. So if you want to know how the pyramids were built, why, who was involved, aliens, basically freaking ancient aliens, man. We're going ancient aliens tonight, right?
Ancient aliens tonight. All right.
My hair is crazy already. So
that's what we're going to do. All right. So that's on the way. All right. So let's see. And more news. Let's see. Just real quick. Again, But like I said, like I always say, this is your show. This is not just our show. This is your show. This is our community show. And so if you want to be part of it, at 702-957-1037, we're watching the phone lines. If you want to get on the show with Discord, you can do that as well. And that's why we do it that way. So it's a long show, and I get it. Attention spans, and you're like, get to the aliens and the rest of this. I got things to do. I got to get up in the morning. But the good news is that you have you have an archive. If you want to bounce or whatever, you can come check out the second half tomorrow and check out, catch up the aliens. So there you go. Anyway, so that's what's up. That's what's up. That's why we do it this way. That's why, yeah, I get it. I understand. Sometimes, give me my shit. give me my shit now.
Give me them aliens, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Give me the aliens. All right, we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Okay, so here we go. I think we're out of yours, right? Any more news from you?
We got the Vice.com. You got that article I sent to you in the PMs?
Yeah, let's do it. Shoot.
Yes. So NXIVM, NXVM. Do you know this? Do you know what this means if you say it? NXIVM? Whatever. Key, basically, sex trafficking leader Allison Mack is reportedly back in college. Mack, who is under house arrest and has pleaded not guilty to charges including sex trafficking and forced labor conspiracy, seems to be an unwelcome presence in her UC Berkeley classes. She's so pretty though. Like this, you would never. She looks so innocent. You would never think. I guess that's why she was good at it.
That's why she's good at it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is somebody. I don't remember who shared this in the Discord there, but yeah. I mean, this was. We didn't really talk about this when it happened. But this was, I don't know. I can't really remember the details. It's been a couple years now. Like these people have been prosecuted. There was like some kind of sex cult, Hollywood sex cult, some other thing, and some other guy, and so this and that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Women were branded, dude. They were branded
that's right.
with the
branded,
the guy's initials.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't a message. I don't know what is.
Some bad stuff. Yeah. So I mean, so she's an unwelcome presence in her UC Berkeley classes. How's she attending online? She's got to be, right? Because she's in house arrest, right?
Yeah, that's true.
House arrest.
That's true. Yeah, I bet. I mean, she should be scared to go out there. I mean, she basically was like a recruiter. She would like just scoop girls into it, and she was kind of aware of what was going on. So, yeah, apparently she's caught up in some legal stuff now, and yeah, there's some tweets here of screen caps. Yeah, it's online, and there she is. She's in the class talking. Wow, that's so crazy. And
nice.
The first comment on Twitter is, I thought she was in jail. Nah, she's in college, man. UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley.
Nah, she's trying to better herself, right? She's getting an education. You can't like shit on her for that, right? I mean, the sex cult was one thing, and the recruiting, people to brand was another thing. But I mean, like she's trying to better herself. So maybe she's going to learn in college that her the sex cult is like a never mind. Maybe she'll learn that it's bad. Maybe she'll learn that it's bad. Okay, bad. Okay,
maybe.
All right, maybe. All right.
Or
okay.
Maybe she'll start up again. I don't know. College girls.
Whoa,
someone keep an eye on this woman. Okay.
Settle down, buddy.
Thank you, Vice.
Buddy.
Thank you,
Vice. Thank you, Vice, for keeping an eye on this
one.
Keep us
updated, man.
All right. So what else do we got? Now check this out. This is hilarious. We're gonna get close to politics for just a sec. So everybody, like take a deep breath. Everybody.
Oh no.
Everybody relax. But check this out. I thought this was hilarious. Reported by The Guardian again, which seems like The Guardian seems to be like smear central for, like Penny said, The Guardian's trash. I'm starting to kind of agree. Here we go. So leak reveals $2 trillion of possibly corrupt U.S. financial activity. Among those named is reports is Paul Manafort, former political strategist for Donald Trump. Okay, now hold on. Before we do anything else, we'll talk about anything else. Notice. Leak reveals $2 trillion, $2 trillion, right, of possibly corrupt U.S. financial activity. First, no shit, Sherlock, right? Oh, is that where all the money's going? Oh, okay, got it. Second, of all the $2 trillion of corrupt activity, the only name we pull out of it is Paul Manafort, who happened to be a former political strategist for Donald Trump. Come on,
bro, he's been in office for 3 years. Like,
come on.
What about everyone else? I mean, okay,
$2 trillion.
I'm not going to defend Trump. I don't really give a shit. Like he did something wrong, get his ass, right? But what about everyone else, bro? Come on.
$2 trillion. $2 trillion.
The day before 9/11, the Pentagon was like, "Whoops, we misplaced $2.3 trillion," and then the next freaking day was the biggest terrorist act in this country. Wow, that's weird. Right? Like, so come on, this has been going on for a long time. This is, I mean, I'm not even like mad at the article. I'm just mad now. It just triggered me because the government just steals money. That's like how do these politicians get so freaking rich? Like, where do you think they're getting the money from? Us. And so like a typical strategy is you give foreign aid to a country, they kick it back to their children, and then they make millions of dollars, and it's all just a scam. Foreign aid. I'm doing air quotes with my reptilian fingers. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm fired up, Mike. You got me going. It's your turn. You go.
I'm just saying.
Get him, Mike.
$2 trillion of possibly corrupt U.S. financial activity, and they pull one name out of it to say Orange Man bad, right? This is what I'm saying. And this is exactly what the guy from the Solo movie was saying, the actor. It's like, come on. Are you telling me you can't pull a shit ton of names out of $2 trillion of possibly corrupt U.S. financial activity? That's a lot of damn money, guys. That's a lot of damn transactions. That's a lot of damn people getting rich. So where's the list of names? Not just one name. They highlight one name, right? Because for whatever reason, well, I know what reason, but yeah, et cetera, so on and so forth. Again, just be careful. Be careful with the media. Be careful with the shit they're doing and they're saying, because this is exactly what they do, right? They're like, well, by the way, the Pentagon lost $2 trillion, but by the way, also Orange Man bad, right? You're like, wait, what? What? That's exactly what just happened. And that wasn't the Pentagon. That was actually private sector shit. Okay, so we're not even talking about the Pentagon lost trillions. This is additional trillions lost. Anyway,
yeah.
Be very careful.
If you hate Trump, yeah, that's cool, man. You can hate Trump. That's fine. Whatever. Do your thing. But like, don't let. There's a lot more people in the government, right? Don't let everyone shoehorn it onto an easy target, right? We have to hold them all accountable. So, you can't just like have a hateable guy and then just push it all into that room with him and just set it on fire. Be like the bad man did it. That's kind of what they're doing. And it's
Emmanuel Goldstein from 1984. You guys remember that book? Emmanuel Goldstein was the villain, right? Big Brother was the hero. Emmanuel Goldstein was the villain, where they all did the 2 minutes of hate and they went boo hiss and they threw like tomatoes and shit at the screen. Remember that? You guys read 1984? Now in that book, ISIS. Well, no, Trump has become that guy. Trump is Emmanuel Goldstein. It's crazy. Okay, anyway, here we go. Let's move on to this. Now, I think this is an important thing to talk about. We talk about this from time to time. This is reported by ScienceAlert.com, and it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder about a lot of things. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Headline reads this: Are humans still evolving? Scientists weigh in. Okay. As a species, humans have populated almost every corner of the earth. We have developed technologies and cultures which shape the world we live in. The idea of natural selection or survival of the fittest seems to make sense in Stone Age times when we were fighting over scraps of meat, but does it still apply now? And so now, not only that, right, this article goes on, Science Alert's pretty good most of the time, right? It's not, doesn't do a ton of propaganda, but it does from time to time. They all do. But so, evolution is not the same as natural selection. Evolution can happen without natural selection, so on and so forth. But I think the interesting thing that nobody really talks about when you talk about humans evolving, right? There's like the physical evolving, right? Where whatever got us to this point physically, having, billions of babies over billions of years, right? Like as a lizard first and then as people now, or whatever it is, however you want to like believe whatever happened, right? But what about humans evolving their consciousness? I think nobody ever really talks about that scientifically, right? It's more about like are humans still evolving, and it's always a physical thing, right? Somebody said a long time ago that once humans are born, they stop evolving. Do you think that's true, or do you think there's an evolution that happens in consciousness? What do you think there, Ash?
Yeah, I actually believe that you're just your human brain alone will actually morph and change as you grow up, and it restructures, and your experiences and whatnot are kind of stored in your DNA. So the choices and the things that you do in your life are recorded. Otherwise, how would they took chickens and they flew a hawk, like a fake hawk, over the chickens, and they were terrified of the hawk, right? Because they saw a hawk. Well, Then they raised, these were wild chickens. I'm sorry, let me start over. They took wild chickens, okay, and they caged them up and they flew a hawk shadow over them. They were scared of the hawk because they've seen a hawk. Hawks kill them. Well, they had like 3 or 4 generations later. These chickens have never seen a hawk. They were like raised indoors. They flew the same hawk shadow over them, and they were just as scared as they were with the first generation. So that just shows that like memory experiences are just stored in your DNA. So who you are as a human carries on to your children, like the choices you make. That's why it is important to like live your best life and do X, Y, and Z, and try to make it and do what you can with what God's given you, because you can make it better. And yeah, it's kind of like that nature versus nurture argument. You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's like one of the underlying themes of the show for several years now. I mean, yeah, I think that's the thing, right? It's kind of like I said. So like I've actually made this example before, and unfortunately now that my poor little puppy is passed on, but like I got this dog when he was tiny, and he was, you know, he was like kind of eyes closed, you know, just kind of drinking milk from mom type of thing. And so like you get him when he's tiny. And so he doesn't really have time to spend time with other dogs and learn how to be a dog from other dogs, right? So we had him, we didn't have another dog at the time. He didn't have anybody to learn from, but he still, somehow, some way, he knew how to be a dog. It was built into his DNA, you know, like, and so those things, right, they say about people like the arachnophobia, or like we're kind of, it's built into our DNA that when we see like a snake or like a reptile, we like get the EBGBs, right? Like we get that fear response or that fight or flight, whatever it is, right? Because it's built into us. Even if we're like, I think you're exactly right there. If you expose several, or let's say, take away several generations of humans from ever knowing even what a snake is, and then you introduce a snake to them, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, fuck, run. You know, like, what is this thing? It's still going to be built into you.
Yeah.
Know? It's nature and nurture. It's a fantastic conversation, and I think it's probably a lot more nuanced than people want to make it. But yeah, there's something in us that it is, you know, it's the backbone of what makes us what we are, and you know, for better or worse, it's where we're at. So,
yeah, I mean, like, well, just go. Derek Perrin, he mentions dogs have been bred to need humans. I mean, think about why the hell do you even like the dog? Like, you look at the dog. I was watching my dog the other day, and here's an absolute genetic behavior learned thing that's in their DNA. 2 different dog breeds, very different. One from the West Coast, one from the East Coast. Different dogs, right? Different families, everything. And I give them food, and when one dog has the food, the other one stays away because they're scared the dog's gonna freaking freak out and bite them. So or they'll like take turns. They kind of have their own system. But when I have food, a human, the dog comes up to me, it opens its eyes, it starts tearing, and you ever really think about like, why is the dog doing that? It's because it's basically mimicking a human child. So not only have dogs evolved with us, we have evolved with dogs. And so that's a behavior that was effective for some dog. Some dog yellowed that shit and then got some human scraps. And that dog was able to successfully continue to breed because we were giving it food, so on and so forth. So yeah, the decisions in your life. Like, my grandfather played guitar. It was easy for me to pick up guitar. If that wasn't in the family, if I ever try to learn something that my family never did, like my lineage, it's like learning from scratch is actually tough. I can feel that I don't have the DNA to reach into. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you had this experience?
Yeah, but I don't think it works that way. I think it's much longer term than that. You know, it's like if you have the desire to play guitar and you're not from a musical family, you'll be able to do it. You know, I just think it's much more like tens of millions of years type situation than that. You know, like being scared of snakes is, you know, in us. You know, like we may be better or worse at one thing or another, or more musically or less musically inclined, or whatever you want to say, right? Maybe we're better writers, maybe we're better speakers, maybe we're better this, we're better that, whatever it is, right? But I think those are the things that are innate in us that, sure, you can probably make an argument for that, but those go back a very long time, and you know, they're anyway. So whatever. So to bring it all the way back around, there's like physical actual evolution for people, but then we have like a conscious evolution. Do you think that's a thing? I think that's what we're talking about here. So anyway, just food for thought. I wanted to point this out, that notice how scientists, they always want to talk about physical evolution, but they rarely want to talk about like the evolution of consciousness and whatever that might mean, you know? And I can't define it because I'm just a knucklehead on the internet with a microphone, but you get what I'm saying. Like just because you're born with whatever DNA you got doesn't mean you can't become something that suggests you should not be. That's kind of my point. So anyway, we got a phone call here. Any final thought real quick on that, Ash, before we grab this phone call?
You know, if souls are real, there's the soul reincarnation circle, and there's evidence for this. There's not, I mean, it's woo-woo, religious, whatever. There's that. And then there's your genetic lineage. So there's like this woo-woo circles. They say that you're basically a soul in like a meat suit, and both entities, both the physical realm and the spiritual realm, have their own lineage and history, and you're like a merger of the two, which I think is pretty fucking amazing. So if that's the case, it's pretty cool. So
definitely good. What's up, Todd?
Versus nature, souls, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. A couple great comments. Diane says serpents are from the Bible. The devil takes this form. That's why we're scared of them. There we go. Todd says, I think breaking out of the normal herd thinking and thinking for yourself is the highest form of evolution right now is fantastic. Pretty good. Couple fantastic comments there, and yeah, maybe
that's right? Actually really deep. Yeah, because like as technology kind of starts sheeping us and herding us together and brings us all connected together, it's harder to resist the groupthink. You know what I mean? Because it seems like there's more people. Yeah, that's a really profound comment. Awesome.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Thanks, guys. Awesome comments. Let's take this phone call, and then we'll keep on trucking here. You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. What's your first name? Where are you calling from? I already know, but I'm going to ask you.
Hey, Mike. It's Paul from New Hampshire. Ash, how you doing, guys? Hey, I got to say something real quick.
Fire away.
I'm not knuckleheads. I'm a knucklehead.
No, we can.
You
we
guys
can
are not knuckleheads. No,
it's okay.
I know, but
we're allowed to call ourselves that.
You guys are good at what you do. Yeah.
Thank you. That's nice.
Kind of strange you're talking. Yeah. Hey guys, I got a shitty connection, so if I miss your comments, tell me to shut up so I can hear what you have to say.
You got it. I'll shout at you.
But,
go right ahead.
Wow. Sir. Yeah, great show tonight. Really cool that you're talking about this. I've kind of, to bring some evidence to the facts that you've been bringing up here about DNA and. I don't know whether you want to call it religion or spiritualism, or the fact that, there's something going on here, millions of years, soul searching. Quick story. I think you guys know me by now. I'm an accomplished musician. I like to say that. Some other people don't like to say that about me, but that's because they're jealous. But I just got off the phone with a friend of mine from Chicago. 2-hour phone conversation, and he's just calling me to say, wow, I'm really impressed with what you've done. And it goes back to the fact that when I was a young boy, I wanted to be a musician, and, my father was a tough guy, and my mother was a lover, and they've both passed since then, and now I'm by myself, and I have really cool people around me. And I've been through a lot of crap, and I think we all have lately. Maybe some more than others, but it's a choice. And it's not easy, and it's work. But when you get tapped on the shoulder and somebody says, wow, this meant something, it eventually might come to fruition, you guys. I played a gig last night out in the cold. A good friend of mine, biker dude, kind of one of the guys I get along with because everybody thinks he's an asshole. And it was a great night. And the guys that follow me and play with me are incredible musicians, and there's a reason. And I'm not going to say I am, but when I put those recordings up and do those demos for people, this is all stuff that has been embedded into my mind by people that I learned from. And, you can't learn without listening, I guess. I don't know where to go here. You guys have, pretty much nailed it. This natural kind of, you feel it or you don't. And it doesn't mean that it has to be Jesus or Ra or whatever God you're looking for, but it's a spiritual kind of thing that, there's souls out there watching our backs, the Akashic record. What do you want to call it, Mike? I don't know.
Let's say the slices of time that last for eternity, that we're destined to travel from the beginning to the end and back again. Maybe that we'll call that the Akashic record all in one. Yeah, that's a lot here, man. Like I agree. Right. I think that's part of the conversation and why we do this. Why, again, thanks for the great call. Fantastic stuff. Any thoughts on that, Ash? Well, we got Paul on the phone here.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Thanks for calling in. Always love it when you call, man.
How are you, buddy?
Good, dude. Yeah, I know. I've been playing music for a little while. It's a grind, man, especially in the beginning when you can't really do anything that sounds good, and it's just you by yourself sounding like crap for a long time. So it
takes work. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the saying is
it takes work. It's funny.
You get praised in public for something.
And when you say sounds like crap, it's funny. Any good musician, by the way, you guys out there that are, coming up musicians that think you sound like crap, you probably sound pretty good because the guys that think they sound good really don't. I just know that for a fact. Like I said, 2-hour conversation with one of my mentors tonight, my first bandmates guy 35 years ago, that we played a battle of the bands, and now he's hearing what I'm doing now and seeing the people I have behind me who are, one of them's a 5-time Grammy award-winning band member. And, and these guys, I make a phone call and they're like, what do you want, Paul? And I run the band. This is my band. And back in the day, I had said to somebody, I want to play Eruption. And okay, that's, it's a big piece of meat to chew off. But I did it. And eventually somebody said, wow, you did it. That sounds really good. And the whole point of that is after I did it, they said, so now can you figure out it's all in you instead of, reading music and talking about this whole thing about the reality of the fact that there's souls out there, that there's people that feel this. This is a feel thing. When your soul tells you something's right, it goes, right back to gambling or watching football. It's the emotional thing. When you think it feels right, it's usually right. Follow your gut, guys. Follow your gut.
There you go.
Especially as a musician, follow your gut.
There you go.
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. Amen. Tons of amens there. Yeah, okay, we're gonna keep on going because we got to get to aliens tonight, and we're a little bit long. So, all right, final thought. Final thought.
That was awesome. Awesome. I'm glad I saw you guys. I popped up online. I'm glad you guys were out there. You're doing a great job, and you're not knuckleheads. So,
thank you.
Love what you're doing. Keep it up. And
Very nice.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Everybody follow New Hampshire UFO Hunter on YouTube. That's Paul from New Hampshire. Thanks for the call, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.
Talk to you soon.
Guys.
There we go. Simple as that. So if you want to be part of the show, it's as easy as that. You call this phone number. You get on the phone just like Paul did. Thanks again for the call, Paul. Fantastic stuff, as always. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. I'm going to leave this up, the phone number, if you guys want to jump on here. We're going to talk about remote viewing. We're going to talk about the pyramids, and were they built by humans or were they built by something else? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. That's what's on deck right now. So if you got to this point, congratulations. Cheers. Go fill yourself a cold beer, top off the ice, hit the bathroom. We've got a 2-minute commercial just so we can have a little break here. So, us humans can actually go do what we got to do. Sitting in one chair for 3+ hours is hard as a human because, humans do what humans do.
As a reptilian, I have to projectile vomit.
There you go.
And then,
so go find
some coal.
Go find a nice place to projectile vomit. Perfect. Don't do it on your keyboard. I prefer that. Okay, here we go.
I build my. That's how I make my chair, man. My chair is it hardens.
It hardens. All right.
I need a bigger back. Yeah, it'll be cool.
Okay, all right. We'll get into that later. Okay, here we go. So quick commercial. 2 minutes. Go hit the restroom. Go fill your drink up. We'll meet you back, and we're going to talk about aliens, the pyramids, were they built by humans, and ley lines and all kinds of other whack shit. Yeah, hold on to your butts. Be right back.
Are you enjoying the conversation? Do you like talking about all things aliens, conspiracy, and paranormal? Well, if so, thank you. And also, we need your help. As you are probably aware, the technocracy, the government, major corporations, and anybody with a ton of money needs to control the narrative. Otherwise, they cannot control your mind. And as a result, free speech, independent thought has become the devil, the opposition. And of course, anybody that knows anything realizes that notion is absurd. The individual decides what they want for themselves, not from the collective. And pay attention to the media and ask yourself, which are they telling you to prefer? Now, I ask for help. The way you can help this conversation continue is by spreading the word. And it's really easy. You can spend just a few seconds of your time. Go to troubledminds.org, that's the official website, and find the iTunes link and leave us a review. If you enjoy the conversation, that is the best way you can give back to Troubled Minds and the community that we've worked so hard to build together. Otherwise, the technocracy will continue to stamp us into the ground. They will continue to shadow ban the words we say and the thoughts we think, and this will never end.
Is that the scariest commercial you ever heard? I hope so. I certainly hope so. All right, so with that, we're back. We should be back. Everybody should be back. If you're not, that's okay. We'll hold your beer for a second while you do whatever you got to do. And we're about to talk about all those things we're not supposed to talk about, of course, which would be the aliens, the conspiracy, the paranormal. And here we are. Here we are. You back, Ash? What's up, buddy? How you feeling? Negative. He didn't get the 2-minute memo. That's okay. All right. So here's the thing, right? So we've talked about this in the past quite a bit. Like the ancient alien theory, we kind of don't really tackle that directly too much because, Ancient Aliens has like a show that's got 22 or 27 or 50 seasons or something. Like it just these shows keep coming, right? And like they've got some pretty good entertainment value. They've got some, they make some points here or there where you're like, nod your head and go, yeah, maybe, right? But then, like I say, like we probably coined it the last episode. If you're drinking the maybe juice, then you're like, yeah, okay, I can buy that. But otherwise, if you're not, you're like, it seems like these guys are stretching quite a lot. Well, one of the things they talk about, and which we haven't really dug into specifically yet, is the pyramids, right? We talked about the Giza Plateau a while back and kind of the conspiracy with the pharaohs and the no bodies found inside and the rest of this, right? What are they for? Is it like pyramid power? Are they built on ley lines? They're like, there's tons of stuff. There's tons of things where they're very intriguing about the pyramids themselves. And so one of the things actually is part of the Anunnaki, right? Zecharia Sitchin, like Ash was talking about earlier, is that kind of suggested that we've had aliens here for better part of 750 million years on Earth, and they've been part of our what would you say, our family, basically, like our celestial family in the solar system. And so that's really what we're talking about right now in this minute. And yeah, that's what we got. You there, Ash? If you're not there, I'm going to start without you. Let's read some comments real fast.
These goddamn Mars storms are fucking crazy up here, man.
That's right. You're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm bleeding.
You're good, buddy. You're good, buddy. You're good, buddy. You're good. Okay, let's see.
It's gonna be okay.
You catch your breath. I'm gonna read a couple good comments here. Paul says, "I don't know about you, but I'm getting a drink and taking a leak." Gonna keep on listening to this stuff. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the call.
Amen.
There you go. Timothy says, if you think about all this, your head will explode. Yeah, I think there's a lot to it, really. Let's see. What else? Diane says, love your show. Like the format for call-ins, Facebook, and a variety of subjects. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for being positive, and thank you for understanding why we do it the way we do it. Like I said, we could do 30 minutes of like concise, perfectly edited whatever, and then just bounce. Well, you get we get to remove all the warts in that case, but you get like a very concise whatever, but then we don't get to include what you think. And I think that's probably the most important part. So that's why we do it live. Derek says, did Joe call in? Not yet. Not yet. Joe didn't call in yet. We had Paul first tonight. So yeah, there we go. Okay. So anyway, back to the pyramids. And so the question of the night is, as of right now, we're on to the aliens. Now, the question is this, right? The Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, and the entire thing. Was it built by human hands, or was it built by something else? I think that's the question here. So how do we start this? Where do you want to start, Ash? And let's do it.
Let's start with our Lord and Savior,
Whoa,
Elon Musk.
Okay, all right. I was about to mute you.
I'm gonna get you all the time, man.
Okay,
it's
okay,
great.
I'm just kidding, guys. That's fine. I'm teasing him. I'm teasing him. Whatever you believe is good. I believe you should have the autonomy to believe whatever you want to believe, and that's what this is all about. So anyway, go ahead. I was just smacking Ash in the face.
It's all in the same system, so it's all one entity at the end of the day. So whatever you worship, that's like you or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to Elon Musk's tweets. This was a little while ago, right? But this caused quite a stir in the Twitterverse. Elon Musk tweets, aliens built the pyramids, obviously. Now, he didn't even say obviously. He said, God, he's such a troll.
He's such a troll.
He's such a troll, man. And this, I think that some people turned against Elon Musk because he was anti-COVID lockdown because of his business, and that whole thing was political. So he's got some like haters now more than ever. And whether you love him or hate him, there are things you can like about him and not like. But he's a prominent figure. He's a smart guy. So for him to freaking tweet this ancient aliens type of stuff is pretty nuts. So I wanted to kind of start here, like. It's in the news, right? It's in the mainstream, and followed by that, some of the people who I guess are there at the pyramids. We're talking specifically about the Giza ones, the really prominent ones, and there are pyramids all over the world, by the way, which is a subject we won't get into. If you stay up late, smoke a bowl, watch Ancient Aliens, you do that enough, you'll run into that episode. There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that. Definitely.
Right. So they invited her down. So this is Rania Masat. Oh God, I'm terrible at butchering names. Someone's gonna get mad. But I follow your work with a lot of admiration. This is a tweet. I invite you and SpaceX to explore the writings about how the pyramids were built, and also to check out the tombs of the pyramid builders. Mr. Musk, we are waiting for you. Well, there have been guests on Joe Rogan and all that kind of stuff. And there's a mainstream narrative how the pyramids were built. And then there's the more out there kind of ideas. So, this is a big subject. I don't know. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to start, Mike?
Okay, so it started on Twitter. This conversation started on Twitter, which is hilarious to me because for if anybody that's been familiar with Twitter, I've been more Twitter-ish for the last year-ish or so. The previous year before that, I was not. So go ahead and make up your mind. I'm on record. Have I got better or have I got worse? I think that's the question. Maybe Twitter has turned me into a. I won't say it. It's probably too dirty to say on the air. But okay, so if that's the case, then this started on Twitter, which is all good, right? If it's done right, then conversations happen and people can disagree or agree and still respect each other regardless of whatever, right? That's a good thing. In my opinion, that's a good thing, but that's not what Twitter is. Twitter's the mob, in my opinion, and it's bad. As good as it can be, it's also bad. It's also bad. Okay, so here we go. Now, okay, so with this said, now back to Elon Musk real fast. Aliens built the pyramids off, right? And so, like, this guy he's not just like Elon Musk, right? He's also an engineer, all right? He's also like probably one of the world's foremost, if not like the most technical engineer. He's one of the most, I guess you could call him, what would you say? He's probably the most innovative, let's say, engineer at this point. He's at the top pinnacle of that. He's clearly a very incredibly smart person, incredibly smart business person, incredibly smart at picking out and judging talent and hiring talent, and because he can't do it all himself. You just can't. It's impossible. You're one person. You got two hands, you got two eyes, you got one mouth, two ears. Like everybody else. So there's no freaking way. So you have to be incredibly talented in many ways to do all the things he's done. And he's not even done yet. He's probably going to be who knows. He's controversial for sure. But I think in many cases he's got the right of it. We should be looking to the stars, We should be looking up. We shouldn't be looking down. And I think at least he's got that part right, in my opinion. So, okay. So with that said now, so if aliens built the pyramids and Elon Musk says so, where does that come from? Do you have any idea where that comes from, Dash? Where that sentiment comes from?
Well, I'm like getting so much stuff, and it's like I'm like overwhelmed with with the amount of responses. Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, all right. All right. So here's the thing.
I got the Three Stooge syndrome. Do you know what that is? It's where there's so much. It's like Three Stooges try to go through the door and they all get stuck. That's what I got right now. I got so many things, so much stuff rushing.
All right.
Aliens. I'm just seeing visions of aliens and pyramids and like Nam for some reason. I've never even been there, All
right, got you. All right, hold on. We're about to do this then. Okay, so now check this out. Let's just start with this. Let's start with the first clip you've got, and then we'll go from there. But here's the thing. So not only Zecharia Sitchin has said the Anunnaki came here, based on that 750 million year story arc. Okay, they came here. They had the Igigi that were part of the situation way back when pre-human history, right? Like there's all this going on. Okay, so that's one thing. That's one of the reasons why this is sort of a thing. Why when people say that people didn't build the pyramids, aliens built the pyramids. That's one reason. Okay. So the other reason, two of the main ones where we can look at, we're not going to talk about the Anunnaki too much tonight because we've done that in the past, and we'll do that again in the future. We'll isolate that as its own thing because it's too much to really smash everything into one thing here. There's too much. But the other thing is, there have been people that actually remote viewed in the past to find out how the pyramids were built. Okay, so as you know, as remote viewing works, it's not just a thing where you can travel spatially and go to, from here to, say, Russia or here to Colombia or whatever. You can also time travel. So you can actually view the past or you can view the future. And so that's very much what remote viewing is about. It's kind of like it unlocks your spatial lock, not just physically, but also in terms of what would you say, celestially, and kind of unlocks that time-space continuum sort of situation. So, I mean, there's that. Okay, so not only has Zecharia Sitchin said he translated the tablets, the Sumerian tablets, and said that the aliens were here a long time ago. We also have people that have remote viewed the past and said some very specific, interesting things. So, you want to just go to this first clip, Ash, and go from there?
Yeah, guys, this is a kind of a doozy, and like I promised, we're gonna make some connections that weren't there before. And but before we get into it, there's some really good comments. I mean, I think this is a really popular subject, Mike. Like, I think people look at that fucking thing and that giant thing, and they're like, everything from that era is dead. It's gone, and this thing's still standing, and it's amazing. It's an awe. you start learning about the details, and it's just incredible. So let's see here. Did Joe call yet? I think we read that one. That's funny. David says aliens are making people vote for Trump, Biden 2020. You could just switch those names. It's the same. You know what I'm saying?
Backwards, forwards.
It's
whatever.
Yeah, it's a joke. I love it. James says keep the show the way it is. He likes it. Cool, man. Vibing. Diane said good one. I don't know exactly. It was a little bit back, but thank you. So you need to get people to love me. I have to be a billionaire. Yes.
Yeah. And then contact us because we need sponsors.
I'll love you. And then if you can give me a coronavirus vaccine, I'll take that too.
That too.
I need 3
You're still
more.
short. Yeah, you're short one, aren't you? I think Sean from Canada gave you his, so you're short too. You got 4. You're short too.
I gotta get there before the end of the show, guys. Come on.
All right.
I need all them. CRISPR edit changes. Diane says there's pyramids in the Arctic too. Yeah, that's kind of a more recent buzz thing, and there are pyramids all over the world from cultures that did not interact with each other. So what would be the common denominator? The third party, which is them aliens, right? So Timothy says first off, they were not tombs. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that tonight, but that's exactly right.
I got some of that.
Okay.
I got some of that.
Mike's got some of that. Yep. Second, they predate the flood. That's from Joe Rogan with the that guy who dated the Sphinx by looking at the levels of water. Basically, you saw like there was what do you call that? What do you call when water cuts stuff over time? What is that word? Erosion. That's a cool word. Erosion. There was erosion on the Sphinx, and he dated it, and that's what he freaking does. So, there's so many things pointing to conflicting, right? The narrative that I think we should definitely revisit it. And then Timothy all goes to say, not aliens. Joanne says Twitter has been evolving. Yeah, maybe for the worse.
That's a good word. That's a good word for it. Whatever you think evolution means, yeah. Twitter's definitely been doing something. We'll give it that.
Yeah. Robert says there are pyramids on Mars too. Ash can vouch for that. Definitely people lived here, man. They lived here. I don't know what happened here. There's like if you take Mars, you look at it on one side of the planet, it's all fucked up, and the other side of the planet, it's pretty relatively good. And these same guys remote viewed Mars and saw that there was like a war there. And it's basically like a weapon or maybe an asteroid hit it. Anyway.
Okay.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Great comments, guys. Keep them coming. Keep the chat. Again, if you want to be a part of the show, one more time real fast, 702-957-1037. Going to splash it up real fast. If you want to join the Discord, go to troubleminds.org. That's the official website. You can find the phone number. It's always there. The Discord link is always there. Go to the website. If you follow the website and you want to know what time the show is, it's on the website. All that stuff. Everything you need to know is on the damn website. Go there, be square. Let's go. Now this is so like I said, Zecharia Sitchin actually said aliens were here a long time ago. Okay. And as a result of that, people have extrapolated that into as part of that story that the aliens had a hand in building the pyramids. But then not only that, the corroboration to that, to if you believe in remote viewing, is we have this guy, Courtney Brown of Farsight.org, who's a very famous remote viewer, one of the best the world has ever known as far as I'm aware. And he has said this. Let's go straight to this. Let's play this and see what he had to say. Let's start this.
So let me make a slight correction there. He's actually a scientist. Sorry, not to expose you, Mike. I just want to make the record correct.
Okay, sure.
Courtney is an actual scientist. He works at a college institute or something like that. So he's like a acting scientist, guys. He's not like some woo-woo guy.
Wait, but he's a remote viewer, right?
Method.
But he is a remote viewer.
He practices, but he recruits
so I'm not wrong.
remote viewers from like.
God damn it!
He's not the best though. He's not.
Oh, I see.
No, but listen, hold on. It's important to kind of to clear this close up a little bit, to add a little bit of legitimacy. He's a scientist. He entertained the idea. He plays with it. And they've come up with their own expanded method of what the military used to use. So this is the cutting edge of remote viewing, the best possible stuff. And they use a scientific method. Everyone's blind. We'll get into this later. I just wanted to preface that this is pretty legit stuff. So, and these people, when they remote view this stuff, they're given a number. That's it. There's nothing else. And it's like issued through an email. So there's not even an in-person picking up on what he's thinking about. No, none of that. So it's super cold. None of these guys talk to each other, and these are the kind of results they get. So,
okay.
You know,
okay, got it. I mean, if you don't know, if you don't know what remote viewing is, it's like an altered state of consciousness where you can, like I said, you can kind of travel through space and time. That's really what it is. Okay, so here we go. Now this is from I don't think this is Courtney Brown himself. This is somebody else. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna play this. This is straight from YouTube. I just linked the thing here.
This guy is the best. I think he's the best.
So this guy is the best.
I'm eating a goat.
Stop. God damn it. Okay, here we go. Playing this. Action.
Okay, I'm going to try to take a wider look at land now because I was so focused in on that. So this is going to be Blackboard Land 2. These are ley lines. So again, these structural shapes, like a complex of structures, and there's let me look at this. I get a very, I don't think this is actually visible to the naked eye in the visible spectrum so much. It's not like a furrow in the land or a painted line or a road or a rut, but it's more like these are lines of energy. The word ley lines, like magnetic, some grid of energy that is connected to these structures and is associated with the land. Earth frequencies, frequencies of the earth, they resonate. Earth frequencies resonate. Earth frequencies. But they're visible to me when I look on Blackboard as an energy pattern. And there's a very strong one, like here. This is out of line, but it bisects. These are here to bisect this. I didn't draw that right, but there's a magnetic earth frequencies resonance, energies resonant, that's on a line.
Okay, I think that's probably enough there. So you get what he's saying, right? He's talking about the Giza Plateau, and he's talking about not just the pyramids themselves and whatever. He senses some sort of, and again, this guy's remote viewing, right? He's actually going back to the past when this has happened, right? So this is not right today. I'm sure all these things are probably true today, like with magnetic resonances and all this stuff. That's all still true today. But he's saying that when these things were built, that there was these ley lines is kind of what he's getting at. There's like these power structures where you have these direct. What would you say? What's the best way to put it? I got a thing on ley lines we'll get into in a sec here, but like he's saying that it was not random where they put these pyramids. There's a reason they put them there. They were able to draw and generate power, not just in and of their shape and placing, but also with it was intersectional to a power draw from the earth itself through the magnetic field or something even more woo-woo than that. I don't know. What do you got on that, Ash? I got some ley line stuff here, but yeah, geez, like there's a lot there already.
Yes. So I'm not gonna. There was an abduction scenario. I'm going off in left field. I'm gonna come right back. Where these people get abducted by gray beings, but then there's an alien there of the same type that we will find out later is involved in the building of the pyramids. When aliens abduct you or whatever, they connect with you like psychically, whatever that means. It could just literally just be they're vibrating portions of your brain or whatnot. Afterwards, all these guys were affected, and they became obsessed with different things, almost kind of like the movie The Third Kind, right? Like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The one got obsessed with geometry and like how math is like basically at the core of the universe. One of the guys got obsessed with the fact that ancient structures, the idea that ancient structures are actually like circuit boards. So if you know anything about circuit boards, it's just basically moving electricity around in different ways. And so there's like capacitors and different things like that. Well, if you look at some of these sites, that's what it looks like. It's like there's the flow of energy, electromagnetic energy. And that's not woo-woo. That's proven. We have it. We're going through a pole shift right now. So it's going to become more relevant. You'll hear about it more. And maybe that's what these structures were. And I don't know if you get into this, Mike, about what's inside the pyramids as conduits. Do you have stuff for that, or
a little bit? Yeah, with the phosphor or the hydrogen and stuff. Yeah. I got a little bit on that. I got nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like and he's picking up on the energy flow, and yeah, we'll see later, kind of like what was it for, but a pretty interesting idea, right? It's like, also, if let's say you're screwing with a primitive civilization, if you just give them like advanced technology, maybe that's illegal. But if you give them a bootstrapped way to use more primitive materials to, I don't know, make a generator for you, maybe that's legally okay in the alien world. So maybe there's, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's kind of like this is kind of like a down and dirty way to get some free labor going.
Yeah, it could be. I have no idea. So, so back to what he was saying though. He was talking about those ley lines, like you said, the electromagnetic thing. There's like, and again, like there's the Gaia hypothesis. If you guys don't know what that is, look into that. Like there's a lot that happens on the Earth that we still really don't understand. We don't really know, right? And so the Gaia hypothesis basically states that the Earth is its own self-regulating organism, right? It's alive. Okay, it's literally created everything just so that life could be what it is, right? And so if we go afoul of Mother Earth, it will shake us off like a bad case of fleas, right? And I stole that from Clyde Lewis. That was his term, and it's true, right? It's like we are not the bosses here. Like nature is the boss here, and so we're basically doing our best to somehow survive within that cycle. And so anyway, so with all of that said, the ley lines are somehow a power structure that if you line up something particularly on this bit, you can actually gain and draw power from the Earth itself. Okay, so here we go. I got a couple clips about ley lines, what they actually are, and that's what he was talking about. So he's kind of like, when you saw that video and the guy, and he was kind of like going into like, he'd close his eyes and like kind of think for a second, and he's mumbling and muttering to himself, and he'd say, yeah, like a ley line, like I see this thing. Anyway, here we go. What is a ley line? I got a clip here. Let's play a couple of these, and then we'll hear what ley lines are. We can talk a little bit about it. And I guess the question is, do you think it's possible that the pyramids were built not by human hands, which of course we're going to get to, and we're going to delve into that as we go. But do you think it's possible that based on where you build something on the Earth, you're able to draw power from the Earth itself if you had misplaced it, right? Different than if you had misplaced it. Anyway, here we go. Here's what ley line is. I got this YouTube video. We'll link this. We always link our sources. You can find all our sources at the end of the video here. We'll link them on YouTube. So here we go. Here's part one. What is a ley line? Action.
What is a ley line? Well, a ley line is a magical energy force that crisscrosses over the land, creating this sort of grid of highways. Nobody really knows what they are. A bit like gravity. No one really knows what gravity is. I mean, they can measure it, they can test it, they know how much mass will produce how much gravity. They don't actually know what gravity is. That's very much like ley lines. You know, we can sort of test it, but we don't know what they are, scientifically that is, of which, obviously, I know all about them, this is why I'm telling you. Ley lines are first put together as a sort of scientific theory by this gentleman called Alfred Watkins in the 1920s. And he went out for a walk and he was doing some archaeology and a bit of, looking about, whatever he was doing, I'm not quite sure. And he was walking up through some hills, and he turned round to look behind him, and he saw what looked like a chain of fairy lights, as he later told his family, crossing the land. And from this, he then came up with this theory of ley lines, and he called them ley lines because there were so many villages that crossed a ley line that had ley in its name. Although later he decided to drop the name ley and call them archaic tracks.
Archaic tracks, right? I like that better, quite a bit better than ley lines. So okay, so that's the thing, right? So there's a ton we don't know. There's the magnetic core of the Earth. There's the magnetic field. There's all these things that are happening, right? That we think we know, like scientifically. We want to make our best guess, but we don't really freaking know, right? Like Ash was saying, the magnetic field is shifting. It's actually moving from, I think it was moving from, is it from Canada to Russia or from Russia to Canada? I don't know. I've never been up that far in the north, so I don't really know, right? Past the wall and the White Walkers. I've never been quite up that far, but I do know, I definitely do know that it's changing. And so we can't really predict how or why it's changing, and that's part of what this is all about. So it's not just a magnetic thing. It's like maybe like a power structure, and that's what some of these people have claimed, that why they built the pyramids in particular spots, and not just the pyramids. There's also if you follow like a ley line type map around the world, and it's like a grid. That they say that they built like Stonehenge and some other these what would you call them? Megalithic, I guess is the word. I don't know. I can't get all the words all the time, but did they put them on these particular spots because they were like where two ley lines intersected, and there was some sort of power draw from the Earth that they could draw for the for whatever was going on, whether it was a some sort of what would you say, like a I don't know. Anyway, save me from myself, quick.
Well, if you look at the mathematical precision of where the pyramids was built, it was like literally like the center of the planet, and it was off by like very few degrees, like less than a foot or something like that. So how the hell did they know that? And then if you were going to put something somewhere for this reason, the kind of the math and the implementation of this kind of stuff follows it. And like you mentioned, if they're all over the system in the spots where you kind of think they would be, it just kind of like starts to lead toward this. And science likes to claim that they know it all and this and that, but reality, they don't know shit. I mean, like back in the day, we thought the world was flat, right? And we just went about our business like, yeah, the world's flat. It's not a big deal. And I'm waiting for Mike to say people still think the world's flat.
People still think the world's flat. I'll say.
Right, exactly. So like, it's hard to kind of keep up with this kind of stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of movement in this area, in this field. And we got to be open to this stuff. We just assume that in ancient times, everyone did stuff for stupid reasons, or religious zealots, or just to freaking have a tomb or whatever. But I don't know. I think as we become smarter as a civilization, we can kind of identify the intelligence in these implementations. So really fascinating stuff. And there's no oh God, I just went blank. There's no
it's fine.
Absolute confirmation. It's not 100% right in one way or the other.
Nothing
it's not
ever
100%.
Is. Nothing ever is.
Right.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep an open mind, and you gotta you gotta be keep an eye open. And as far as these things being tombs, there's not a lot of, I don't know.
We'll get to that. Put that in your back pocket. We'll get to that. Okay. Here's the thing. We got a couple of great comments here. So let's read these. Kelly says on Facebook, all ley lines connect to Angkor Wat in Cambodia. There we go. So look into it. Like it's not so that you got Angkor Wat, you got like I said, you got Stonehenge, you got the Great Pyramids, and so they say that there's some sort of power. It's kind of like witching. Like we talked about this. We did ley lines a while back with Frank, and it was funny hearing Frank go, "Nah, I don't buy it." Right? It's pretty funny, but because that was Frank. But like in this situation, you're talking Angkor Wat, you're talking the Great Pyramids of Giza. You're talking about, I mean, there's been like huge chapels built on like in particular, because there's some sort of like power structure that the Earth is resonating that people feel, right? Like people can feel it. And so like if you're witching a well and this type of thing, right? Like that old skill, it's like you're able to sense, for people that are sensitive in this manner, to sense where these power structures align. And when you get two ley lines intersect, it's supposedly a super powerful thing. And we'll get to pyramid power and some of that other stuff, and again the hydrogen and whatever else. But I mean, what do you think? I think there's a lot here. Let's read some of these great comments. So there's one. Let's see. Todd says it's changing because the Earth's magnetic field shifts. Definitely. But again, how do we define that? How do we predict that? I think that's probably the question. Philip, what's up, buddy? Philip from Southern Oregon says, that makes me wonder if our poles shift enough and push them ley lines so far it will activate the pyramids. I know it's a far stretch, but just saying it would be pretty awesome if so.
Oh snap!
That's a good point. That's a fantastic point. So maybe they've kind of been astray, right? Because of the way that we've as science has established, we've all established that the magnetic field itself rocks back and forth, right? And even flips after so many millions of years. But yeah, that's a hell of a point. Like maybe the ley lines are off right now and are not activating the pyramids, and why we don't see what they were actually built for in the initial. Thoughts on that, Ash? That's pretty hot. Great take there. Thanks for showing that, Philip.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. It's funny. They I just saw something before the show as I was doing research. I didn't get a chance to confirm it, so I'm sorry if it might be bullshit or whatever. But there's supposedly a pyramid, a structure under the Bermuda Triangle, which would explain, if you have all this magnetic disturbance while the planes are coming down. So maybe there's pyramids all over the world. It's a clean, if it's possible, it could be a clean energy source, right? A clean, infinite. There's probably a cap on what it could produce, but a clean, infinite energy source that that's been powering the worlds. And as the field changes, maybe this is like maybe it'll activate or shift. Or maybe it'll deactivate, right? There's these guys discovered that in hot magnetic zones, that's where a lot of alien activity happens. And I'm not getting into the aliens with the pyramids, but aliens in general, alien activity. Maybe this is something that interacts with the veil between worlds, between dimensions. Maybe the pyramids will activate. And then the creatures will come through, and we'll see more Sasquatch, interdimensional Sasquatch, and it's crazy. It's like, and Mike, didn't you have a show about an interdimensional apocalypse? Right?
If there's been a show, I've had it, man. yeah. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Yeah. And it was like a tear opening up in the world, an interdimensional stuff going in back and forth, and. Yeah, that's crazy.
With CERN,
that's
with
a
CERN.
book right there.
Yeah,
write that book.
Like 2012,
I'll
the
buy
world
it.
ended. CERN in 2012 actually exploded those particles and found the Higgs boson. It's not even my theory. That's by Nick Hinton. If you can follow him on Twitter. And yeah, so he was saying that it's possible, right? Like that we've like things have happened in our own timeline that have ended. And so we've spun into another timeline. That's why shit's like off the rails at this point. So yeah, definitely good stuff. A great comment there, Philip. Thank you very much. Okay, so now with all that said, let's go part 2 real fast. This is another short one regarding ley lines. Now, what are they? Now, Kelly says all ley lines connect to Angkor Wat. We have Philip saying that maybe they're kind of in flux with the magnetic field. Maybe they're locked together somehow. And then as they shift and change, maybe we're waiting for, like, let's say the age of Aquarius. I'm adding this, extrapolating on his thought here, that maybe like when we move into the next phase of whatever that happens to be, it's when those ley lines actually reconnect with the ancient ways. So who knows? Let's see what that ley line part 2 is here. There's only 2 of these, and then we'll move on, Ash. Quick one, part 2 action.
So the ancient Britons understood ley lines far better than we ever did. And this can be shown by how many henges are all over the country. Not only are henges situated on what we believe to be ley lines, but they're also situated on sort of wells where the energy bubbles up through the earth. If you ever go to Dartmoor in southwest England, there are plenty of henges, which are stone circles, right next to each other. So you'll have one stone circle here, and then one stone circle just here. And that's because they're sitting on a well of ley line energy. Other stone circles obviously sit in the crisscross of where the ley lines go, and these there is no more famous than a Stonehenge, of course. We believe Stonehenge to be built on a point where at least 4 ley lines cross each other, so it's a huge mecca of energy and earth magic. Stonehenge was astoundingly and miraculously, in my opinion, built not just on this ley line point, but it was also built to align with the summer solstice. So the sun on Midsummer's Eve rises behind the heel stone, which is at the entrance to Stonehenge, and then as the sun rises, the rays of the light of the sun falls directly into the very centre, the epicentre of Stonehenge. It really is quite a sight to see on Midsummer's morning. You should go there. It's about the only time that you're allowed actually within the circle of the henge, because most of the time you're kept apart from it. You can just view it from a distance. I mean, Stonehenge is magnificent in so many ways. It was built almost 5,000, if not over 5,000 years ago. And we really don't understand how it was built. I mean, not only does it align itself with these ley lines, it aligns itself with the midsummer sun and some other ley lines. So it's lined geographically with Avebury Tor and Old Sarum.
Does that sound familiar to you? Sound familiar at all? Ley lines lined up perfectly with some sort of a megalithic monolithic structure that was built and on some sort of maybe magnetic power connection. Does it sound familiar to you? Stonehenge, pyramids. It's the same sort of thing. Same sort of thing. Like, what's actually going on? I think that's the question, right? Like, on the ancients had, think about it this way, like the ancients had no TV, right? They had no radio. They had no any of this shit that we're doing, right? They had none of this. And so the things that they did were more like, like kind of like actually sensing, like the magnetic field. Like it's been proven that mammals can sense the magnetic field. People too. Dogs will actually go number 2 on I think it's a northwest. Because they sense the magnetic field, and there's just something to it, right? So I mean, there's a lot here. So imagine if you didn't have like any of the modern crap that we have today, the cars and the this and the that and the other things. So maybe, right? If you stripped it all down, it was just a human person and nature, and you were able to maybe meditate or concentrate or whatever you believe in that stuff, or pray, and you were able to have some sort of connection with that magnetic field. Maybe, right? Maybe there's something to that, and maybe they knew way back when a ton of stuff that we've forgotten since, and that's kind of what we're talking about. And we'll get to aliens in a sec. Hang tight. Thoughts on that, Ash? That's the last ley lines clip, so we're done with ley lines for now.
Yeah, one step closer to aliens, boys. I really love that people are like, okay, aliens, like, let's get it going.
Give us the aliens.
Great. Yeah, it warms my heart, guys. I'm glad there's interest. But yeah, maybe there was like a energy grid system, and we say like, how could they have known that it was the center of the planet and the math? Yeah, maybe they just felt it. Maybe there was just like the guy commented earlier. Maybe there was a shift. So previously in the past, it was a stronger field, right? And you could feel it, and they're like, all right, let's build our stuff here. And so you wouldn't need to know that there's space and multiple planets and all this stuff. You don't need to know that. You just need to know it's here. And then from there, you just need to know that there's conductors and to tap into it. And so it's just curious, how do these cultures, even if there's no intervention involved, no woo-woo, no aliens, no nothing, how did they know? That means that the knowledge was there before they split, or a third party was interacting with them when they were separate. That's the only possible things. They couldn't have developed it separately, suddenly, spontaneously on their own. So it's really interesting. Like, was there a Wi-Fi back then? Was there a network?
Maybe we have the original Wi-Fi, the original 5G, the healthy 5G.
and they're like, oh man. And then that was killing the birds, right? Or maybe this is turning on and it's killing the birds, right? And we're tapping into our historic DNA. This is literally like 4 articles we talked about, connecting them all together. That the old 5G is turning on as it rotates, and the ley lines connect. It's killing the birds. It's resonating with our historic DNA. We're realizing, oh shit, we've been here before, and now we're complaining.
We've been here before.
But there's a bunch of fake news, like Thomas Edison, with the electricity. I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
Okay, you're good. All right, so let's go to this next one. Okay, so that's ley lines, right? So the theory is that the pyramids were built on these ley lines for some sort of power structure, okay? Like some sort of be able to draw power from the earth and channel it to do something, okay? So that's one of the theories, and why many people believe that aliens may have been involved, right? Because you think ancient humans without Geiger counters and Wi-Fi detectors and all this other shit. You can only feel so much as a human interacting with the magnetic field. You need actual technology to be able to pinpoint these places and be able to build these things. So there's one of the reasons. Here we go. Let's go to part 2 of this. This is from your video, Ash. We're gonna watch this, and let's continue. Let's keep on trucking regarding the pyramids and were they built by humans or aliens, or why do people think this? And that's again we're taking a healthy dose of the maybe juice here. That's what we do. But go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Definitely. And we're going to throw a bunch of stuff on the wall, and it's up to you guys to decide what you believe. But there are some things that we're going to throw up on the wall that probably have been thrown up on the wall before, but maybe not together, right? So those things are coming. Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard of this video. Whoever made this video is super handsome, right? He's got.
I think so.
Great voice.
Shut up. We're playing it.
Yeah.
Shut up. We're playing this video. Action.
According to mainstream archaeology, the pyramids were built over 4,000 years ago. The largest of 3, called the Great Pyramid, is perhaps the most colossal single building ever erected on the whole planet. Approximately 2.3 million blocks of stone were cut, transported, and assembled to create the 5.75 million ton structure, which is a masterpiece of technical skill and engineering ability. In these Egyptian societies, they had kings, also known as pharaohs. They believed their pharaohs to be the mediators between the gods and the world of men. After death, the pharaoh became defined, identifying with the gods, and he passed on his sacred powers and position to the new pharaoh, his son. The pharaoh's divine status was portrayed in allegorical terms, with the snake on his crown, which spat flames at his enemies. He was able to trample thousands of enemies on the battlefield, and he was all-powerful, knowing everything and controlling nature and fertility. The construction of the pyramids is still somewhat of a mystery. Historians are still not sure how the stones were hauled from a quarry and assembled to form this giant monolithic structure. Ideas of transport for these massive stones have been suggested, such as ramps, boats, sleds, rope, and other crazy theories. We actually don't know the mechanism for cutting the hard stones like red granite, and we still don't know how the ancient Egyptians lifted blocks weighing hundreds of tons up the sides of the pyramids. The pyramids are there as mountains of stone, proving the otherworldly nature of their god kings.
I think that ends it, right? I think that's a stop. Yeah, that's a great video. That's a preview of Ash's video coming up. If you guys haven't joined Ash's channel or followed him, go to actually let's link it. You want to send me a link and I'll just throw it in the chat there. But yeah, so that's Ash actually in his video he's working on, and he's talking about this exact thing. So this is kind of a preview of his shorter version of this. We're doing a long version, and it's yeah, like that's what they say. That, like slaves and ropes and, like the Nile River and this type of thing. And they quarried the shit hundreds of miles away and then rolled it up like, dear Lord, think of when you have like a heavy bag of groceries. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. Like it's like, oh God, my back. But no, man, like this is like you saw how big those stones were. We're talking hundreds of tons per stone. Mm-hmm. This is insane. Like the amount of work necessary here is absurd. And so this is why it makes people believe that it's not possible. Like with trucks and tractors and cranes and all this shit we got today, it would still be a colossal challenge to get this stuff done. So yeah, go ahead, Ash, go get it, buddy.
Yeah, I actually had this video. It's taking me a long time to make because there's so many things to talk about, and I have to kind of skip over to actually like make it coherent. So, yeah, so the blocks of stone on average are like between 5 and 15 tons, and they really don't know how the hell they moved them. The quarries were miles away, guys, miles away. So they had boat ideas. Imagine
well, no. So the boat is not out of the question to me, because if you can get that shit to the Nile River and put it on a boat, that's plausible. But getting it to that river after quarrying it and then getting it to the Giza Plateau and then dragging it up a ramp, like to put it, dozens of stories high or a dozen stories high, or however tall this damn thing is. Like, that's the part that seems implausible to me. But okay,
right. And then if you do the math on, I forget the math completely, but there's I don't know, I think I talked about it. It's like 1 million stones or something. It's like a lot of freaking stones. So how many of those things do you got to get over in a day? And supposedly it only took 25 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
That's what they say.
What the heck? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So as we evolve, become a little bit more intelligent as a civilization, we come up with better ideas. And there have been ideas for moving these things, but to scale that up, it doesn't make sense. And to get the freaking stones up the pyramid, how do you do that? Oh, they used a ramp. Well, the ramp ends up being bigger than the damn pyramid once you start getting like halfway up and up to the top. And it's just nonsense. And like, they're like, we used ropes. What kind of ropes are you guys using? What kind of magic super ropes? So I read some papers. I actually went and looked at some papers to see, and there's some cool theories. And then other people try them. Like, there's this technique, moving the stones across the sand. They tried pouring water. That was like, oh, we solved it. You pour water. Well, they poured water. They had a stone that was not nearly as big, and they moved it with a freaking bulldozer, and it just basically caught a bunch of sand and then dug into the sand faster than it would if you didn't put the water. So, I mean, it's a mystery. Anyone who says they know is lying. But I know. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Sure,
we
buddy.
know. We're gonna tell you guys.
Buddy.
We know.
No, sure,
everyone
buddy.
Else,
buddy.
they're all bullshitters.
Sure,
Me,
buddy.
I got it.
Sure, buddy. All right, here we go. All right, next one. We're gonna play again. This is a clip from the same video. This is a teaser of a video coming from Ash the Reptilian here. So okay. So we're talking about, again, ley lines, possibly how they intersect, and how the Giza Plateau and these pyramids were built in a particular manner so that they can derive a certain power from the earth itself. Okay, maybe this is a magnetic power. Maybe this is some sort of a supernatural power we haven't quantified yet. I mean, there's many things science hasn't actually done and actually like quantified. Like, for instance, let's say dark matter or dark energy, or like there's a ton of things, right, that maybe somehow, some way back they were able to tap into, and maybe this was somehow connected to a magnetic field. I don't know. Like, again, we're just a kind of spitballs at the wall sort of situation here. We don't know. We really don't know. Regardless of what Ash says, damn it, Ash, we really don't know. So we're going off what we can to maybe explain why people believe that the aliens built the pyramids and not people. So here we go. Here's another clip from the Ash video. Again, a teaser. If you haven't, send me that link, Ash, to your channel. I'll drop it in the chat here. And here we go. Here's another teaser from this, part 2 of this action.
I believe humanity has rediscovered an old source of truth. What I'm talking about is remote viewing, an innate and mysterious power embedded within the human body itself. Remote viewing allows a viewer to perceive and record a moment in time and space. Now, before your woo-woo alarm goes off and you turn off this video, remember that this technique has been good enough for the military and law enforcement in the past. One can only assume that these programs never officially ended, and that the government continues today. Now, science and mainstream is starting to catch up. Over at the Farsight Institute, they have been using the scientific method to record and refine remote viewing to a more reliable and authentic source. They have predicted future events dozens of times and have been recording their data on major events in the past. Now, permit me to present this data, entertain the idea. I mean, we have nothing else to work with. So to tackle this mystery,
say when
to
stop.
Broke it up into different sections. Each section would get multiple world expert remote viewers to analyze and collect data. These were always blind, and the viewers were not allowed to communicate during the project. This went on in stages and took a while, but eventually they were able to combine their efforts. What is amazing is how completely separate people can get such similar results and data by using such a weird and innate ability. So let's see what they found.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, right there.
Go.
Yeah. What?
Elaborate. Elaborate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to step away for a minute because I'm going to visit the little boy's room. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Go get him,
okay, guys. So I got it. I got this. So yeah, this is the Farsight Institute. This is an organization that has been using remote viewing as a way of discerning ancient mysteries. Check out their site. Take a look. There's a lot of free content on there. So just dive in and watch some videos and come up with your own conclusions. A lot of their production is a little cringy. I'm not gonna lie, but the content is there, and it's a very interesting and exciting time that they're constantly putting out content. Now, someone said in the comments, totally valid, totally get it. This is bullcrap. How can you trust this kind of source? Absolutely, I totally understand you, and I've never really fully was on board for this kind of thing because remote viewing is not 100% anyway. Now they do use techniques to try and be a little bit more correct. They have updated techniques. They use multiple people, all kinds of stuff. But in this scenario with these guys, they've actually been able to predict the future. Now, when you predict the past, you could fake it or make it up and no one cares. But they were able to predict the future pretty consistently. And this is a new thing. This is like month to month for the last like 4 or 5 months. It's pretty exciting stuff. So I remember keeping tabs on them. They'll release a video, and then 10 days later, the stuff really happens. It's kind of amazing, and it's new. It's new. Like their technique and their stuff is new. So once that pile of predicting the future, if there's only a few things, you could write it off. Coincidence. Maybe they're just being vague and they're getting lucky. But that pile of confirmation is growing. And I'm talking about pictures, like literally drawings of like the target. Remember that during the riots, the Target was on fire? They have pictures of that, of boating accidents out at sea. Quite a few things. It's really interesting. They have some good data, and it really validates what they've done. So
there you go.
Coming back to the
I'm back.
Yeah, perfect timing. Great. So yeah, I was just talking about the remote viewing organization.
I caught it.
And how
I got it. I'm good.
Valid stuff.
I can time travel. I remote viewed your shit. I'm all good. I'm on top of it.
From the bathroom.
From the bathroom.
That's the best place to do it.
I just took my Bluetooth headphones with me. but okay. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay. So this is kind of the point, right? So it's not just like we have Zecharia Sitchin say that the Anunnaki 750 million years ago, Nibiru and this whole bit, right? Like the Igigi, and like we've talked about this in the past. We'll talk about this in the future. The ancient alien theory, right? So there's one school of thought. Now we have another here that corroborates it, right? Whether you believe this one or the other or not, these two things kind of are in league. They're kind of talking to each other with this theory, okay? Well, if you think it's BS, that's fine. Like we're talking about the speculation of this and why people believe this, okay? It's fine. If you believe it, if you don't, you're entitled to your opinion. But now this is the thing. We have these folks that are, again, the CIA has studied, right? The government has studied with Ingo Swann and who are the other guys? There's some other they're on the tip of my tongue. These other guys, these actual like government remote
agencies.
viewers. Remote viewers.
And Bill Clinton has publicly apologized for these programs that were done in hospitals and all kinds of stuff. And so this was the CIA this is all all the agencies do stuff, and they compete with each other for like results, and they hide shit from each other. So there's like a lot of duplication of efforts. And if you ever seen Stranger Things, that's pretty much a little bit of disclosure on this subject. You know, she's literally a child with innate abilities. They use her to remote view and find people. This happened. This is documented in the military. They found people. They spied on the Russians using this technique. So like and a lot of these psychics ended up working for the military too, and like helped close cases, like literally cases that were completely screwed. There's no way of ever closing it out. And yeah, and they would like and they'd find the guy like that. They'd bring this woman on board. There was like one woman who was super good. She was like the best. And they bring her on board and she would solve the case. Not all the time, not always. Sometimes they go and look and there's nothing there. And that's where a lot of the skepticism comes in. I get that totally. But yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. Pretty amazing stuff.
Okay, let's play this next clip. Let's go straight to this, and then this is again from Ash's video. If you guys want to follow him, please send me the link, Ash. If you have, let me know, and I'll drop in the chat there. And here we go.
Should be in there.
Okay, thank you. I'll drop that in a sec if you guys want to follow his channel. Here's the thing. This is remote viewers talking about the pyramids and how they went back in time, remote viewing, to see how the pyramids were built. Okay, so here we go. This next part, action.
So there you have it. The Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed using a complex mix of manual labor and advanced technology. The construction may have been manipulated or assisted by some extraterrestrials who seem to have worked behind the scenes. There was also plenty of human drama and intrigue involved, more so than is contained in any Hollywood movie about that time. And it is not clear how much the humans were aware of the extent of extraterrestrial involvement in their plans and activities. Some of it would have been hard to miss, of course, such as technology that levitated stone blocks. But there is no evidence in these data that suggests that the humans themselves of that day had developed the level of technology to do this, nor the technology to clone workers who could survive the harsh mining environments. It also looks like the drama was interrupted at some point, apparently after the Great Pyramid was fully constructed. What interrupted it was the arrival of highly advanced beings from far away traveling in ships. I can only assume that we are talking about other advanced extraterrestrial beings, ones that had an entirely different agenda than the extraterrestrials who had been involved with the pyramid construction project in the first place.
Okay, so there we go. I know you heard that. So this guy's saying,
wow, that's a lot to take in.
That's a lot. So this guy's saying, so this kind of jives with the Anunnaki story, right? With the Zecharia Sitchin actually translating the tablets, the Sumerian tablets, and that story goes that the ancient, it kind of follows the ancient alien theory, right? They got the big hair, ancient aliens. Everybody's seen the show. It's we had aliens visit here a very, very long time ago. And as a result, they helped human civilization become what it is through their technology or through their knowledge, and they passed it on. Which actually is actually you can kind of correlate that to mythology, and like Prometheus, the fire bringer that brought fire to mankind from the gods, like this type of situation. There's a lot there that kind of if you want to line this up and kind of close one eye and make the connection, it's there. I think it's there. I think there's a lot there that you can talk about. But go ahead on this. So he's saying, this guy's saying that they've remote viewed and he's actually seen aliens helping with some sort of high technology merged with the manual labor, right? Is what this guy's saying?
Yeah, and the general populace, so it's kind of like a hierarchy, kind of like a pyramid, right? Where there's the god pharaoh at the top of the pyramid, who they believed as a god. They believed that this was an angelic being that was connected to the sun god. This is at the time of Giza. There was different reigns of gods, which literally could be different aliens. Like literally different aliens. Yeah, I'm done moving. You take over, son, right? And now it's the Horus god or whatever. And so it's unclear the relationship between the pharaoh and the god through the remote viewing. How much the pharaoh was aware. Like, did it know it was an alien? Was the pharaoh an alien himself? That was unclear in the data. It was a project. It was multi-staged. They would pick a subject like the pharaohs and what's going on with them. So and there'd be multiple remote viewers doing that subject. So that data wasn't really collected. But yeah, there was an extraterrestrial influence, and they were given technology to allow them to move the blocks using some sort of sound or gravitation or something to levitate the blocks. Now, a human back then wouldn't know what the hell that is. They would just think it's God power, and they would just go about their day, and they would just, thank you, God Pharaoh, for bestowing on us this power, this ability to do that. And they would do it. And they had no acknowledgement of what they were doing. It was just purely religious for them. It was just a spiritual, that's our God kind of thing. Now, they go on to say some other interesting things of how the stones are caught and this and that. And there was one more. Oh, yes. Okay. So here's a connection that hasn't been made. I wanted to point out. This story, exactly how he said it, sounds like what? Is there a movie that comes to mind?
You
Mike?
tell me. I'm here. I'm
Stargate.
Is it Star?
Have you seen Stargate?
I haven't seen Stargate. That explains why I don't have.
Okay, yeah. This is basically the plot of Stargate. Now, we know that the CIA works with Hollywood to release information, and that they've been quoted, the people have been quoted as saying from insiders that they release information to the public, but they do through like coveted means, like covert means. So they're not held responsible, but at the same time, they told us. It's like, oh, I put it in the movie. So the CIA does this. The CIA definitely works with Hollywood 100%, and the insiders have said this. So guess, you brought it up earlier. What was the name of that remote viewing program?
Project Stargate.
That the CIA... Stargate. That's what the CIA used. They called their remote viewing program. The same CIA that worked with Hollywood to push movies out. And the peak time they were doing this was when the movie Stargate came out. So basically, they're saying, Stargate, we used remote viewing, and the government did this themselves. They saw what happened with the pyramids. They saw the same thing that these remote viewers did, and they put it out through a movie. And they did this to gain information on aliens in our history and our past. How's that? Mind-blowing, huh? That connection has not been made.
That's pretty good. So
I found that out last night at like 4 a.m. I was like, wait, what? And so it's pretty insane stuff. Pretty insane stuff.
Wait, what? What you say? You say what? All right, here's what we say. Here we go. So we're gonna move on to this. Let's see. Now this is from farsight.org. This is remote viewing one more time, and they're going back into the past, remote viewing what happened with let's see. This is the mystery solved, the Great Pyramid of Giza. All right, here we go. I'm linking this. You guys can check this out. I highly recommend you watch this entire thing. There's a ton of good information here. This is remote viewers, and they're doing their thing, right? They're traveling space-time, and they're trying to find the truth in some of the mysteries of the world. And here's a great clip. Here we go. Action.
Okay, and these guys go in here. The sense of descending. This really feels like miners going into a mine, but they're not like miners. Like if you were miners going into the coal mine, you'd be carrying your lunch bucket, you'd be joking with your friends about the what your girlfriend did last night and what you're going to do after work. You're going to go look at the game. None of that. There's none of that. These guys are just, and they're all the same size. They're like little clones of each other, clones. And genetically manipulated, genetic modification, and worker bees. Okay, so they're going down. It's a confining place, but it's big. There's like a big ceiling. And this is an environment that is really nasty, hot, gritty, acrid, bad smoke. If I was there, I would choke to death in an instant. And okay, I got to remember something about the face mask. I got to draw that next, but I can't do it when I'm in. Okay.
Okay, so real quick, what this guy's doing, right? He's coming in and out of remote viewing, right? So he's actually having these short sessions of being able to kind of have like this view of what was happening when they were building these pyramids, right? And so he's talking about clones and genetic modification, right? So he's saying these aren't normal people. These are not human beings. These are some sort of actual, like, you know, dare I say, like Zecharia Sitchin said, the Igigi, right? These are some sort of like worker bees that are genetically modified and manipulated to be able to do this heavy manual labor they need for whatever reason, right? So for whatever reason, if it's a power thing, like you can't actually generate enough power to just cut the stones and build the pyramids with like technology. So you have a nice mix. You're like, all right, well, people can't do this. They'll die in mass, like in unprecedented numbers. So you create clones able to do this, right? So I don't know, like maybe this kind of meshes with that Zecharia Sitchin bit. Is there more of this that we should play? What do you think there, Ash?
Whatever the let's play a little bit more. If this is interesting. So think of these things, these little things. This is gray aliens, guys. So amongst alien groups, if this stuff is true, and I've seen this in other abductions and this kind of stuff, the reason why this was compelling to me is I've seen this in other places. So to see it in the past is insane. And so this basically implies that gray aliens are just basically pop in the oven bio workforce. Why would you make machines when you could just grow them? And these things are referred to as a crop, and that they were debating whether or not, he picks this up later, we won't show this, but they were the people who made these things, or maybe not even like really made them. Maybe it's just like, you know, there's e-commerce out there, and you know, this is like the cheap line that you can buy or whatever. Who knows? Like if cloning's possible, why not have like cloned robots, basically bio robots? And these are the gray aliens. So one more note about this is that, well, if you look into a lot of the disclosure stuff, there's all these gray aliens that come down that interact with our government supposedly. Dude, like gray aliens come down, if they're grown, they could all have them. There could be 1,000 different groups and they all have gray aliens. So when you interact with these gray clones, it could be anyone. It could be anyone. It could be literally just one dude who just like one alien dude who farmed up a bunch of them, right? So it's important to kind of keep your mind open for this kind of stuff, because this is possible within the next 50 to 100 years, cloning like a workforce. And so yeah, let's watch a little bit more. You can call it, Mike, when you kind of get bored, and I think this is really fascinating. And yeah, go ahead.
We could call her actually. Let's bring this caller in. We're in the second half here. She's on Discord, so let's bring in Tamrin from South Africa here, and we'll talk about aliens and the pyramids and the rest of this stuff. So let's do it. Tamrin, unmute. Ash, unmute. You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. What's up? What do you think about all this? How are we doing tonight? How are you doing tonight? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Tamrin, we
3 4.
3 4.
Check
5, 6, 7, 8.
Mike
check
check
1 2.
Check.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. It's a rock and roll.
Looks like
Sunday.
she is muted still.
Yeah, just unmute yourself, Tam, and you'll be on the show. I got you.
Yeah.
I gotta
hurry up. You don't want me to sing to fill the space. It's terrible.
No. Definitely do not do that. Do not do that.
It's
we don't want Ash
screeches, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit. Oh, all right. Yeah, don't do that. Dear God, just stop. Make it stop. All right. So I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then if Tam wants to unmute and get on the show and talk about this stuff, you can do that. We're gonna play just a little bit more.
Awesome.
So this guy's actually doing his thing here. He's like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm seeing some genetic modification. I'm seeing these whatever these workers are not human. He's kind of zipping in and out of actual remote viewing back to the pyramids. And here we go. Let's play a little bit more of this. Tam, you're on. If you want to unmute, and you're on Troubled Minds. Let us know. Action.
There's a glow down in here. Like molten something, like very, like in a steel foundry, they have a slag heap that the molten stuff is there. It's sizzling and steaming and emitting noxious gases. This is a very unhealthy place. This is a bad environment, and they're bred to be here. They can handle it, but only for a little while, because they, it's like they've got a part of their DNA that allows them to slough off or absorb or somehow be in this environment, and they degrade, but not as fast. There's a degradation, so after a while they become useless. So they're programmed, and they come here, and it feels like mining or terraforming, building something deep underground that is, and it might involve mining, tunneling with fusing rock, melting it literally. And there's just evil gases here, but they can handle it, but only for a little while. And so,
okay, so notice he says there's gases down here. They're doing some sort of thing. There's clones, genetic modification. He wrote on the top of the board a face mask, like they have some sort of mask. He's saying that humans wouldn't be able to do this, right? This is really what he's saying, is that there's some sort of actual something else going on here that is not human beings. Because if they were in this this terrible mine sort of situation with this poison gas or whatever it is, that they wouldn't be able to survive. So he's claiming that remote viewing back to building the pyramids, there's some sort of alien involvement, and then cloning, and then and some sort of technology that goes along with that. So I mean, I need one more beer, Ash. So if you want to give me just a minute or two, Tamron, you're on. So just unmute your Discord, and you're actually in the channel with us. So go ahead and fire away when you're ready. But give me another 30 seconds, Ash. I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah. So he goes on to claim that they use some sort of laser technology to make those precision cuts, right? And it's so hot, and it's so such a hospitable zone down there that these beings actually like break down after a while. Meaning they literally like start shutting down and start running into walls and basically getting errors. And they do go on to say, like, should we update the code? And this is the feeling he gets, right? This is the kind of thoughts that he gets by thinking about this. Oh, no, we'll just grow another crop. So when he said that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, think about it. If one civilization is trading with another, it only takes one civilization to make the cook a worker, right? Now imagine if aliens came down, we start talking, and everyone gets these cooker workers, right? These like you just pop them in the oven, they pop out, and they just start doing stuff for you. And beyond that, maybe they were created originally to traverse space. Space is a very hospitable zone, right? So if you've evolved to grow up on your planet, you probably won't survive space. So you make something that could do this. And what's a little bit freaky is these aliens have been called like, maybe they're us in the future. Why? Because they look similar to us. So who's to say these things aren't made from our DNA? That our beings are actually in these products, right? And that maybe our planet is some sort of like DNA. It's valuable in that way. The DNA, the all the different types of organisms. It's a giant lab where they can kind of tap into and make products. I mean, think about the octopus. That thing has literally a brain in every arm. It's pretty nuts. So the scorpion, it's got like a venom stinger. It's all these crazy creatures. So maybe this is a planet. It's like super intense, high volatility between creatures, so that aliens have a lab to kind of make these kind of products. So very fascinating. And I think as far as the pyramids, that's the as far as the remote viewings and the data they got, these were the substantial things. The stones were cut underground by grays. I mean, that no one said that. You don't hear that on Ancient Aliens. That's kind of new. And then the blocks were moved using some sort of technology that was gained from extraterrestrials. And the pharaohs probably bestowed this technology on their people, but the relationship between the pharaohs and the aliens was kind of unclear. And that's kind of how the pyramids were built. And in theory, they were built on top of these ley lines to generate power or to do something to the magnetic field of the planet or whatever. Basically, whatever the god aliens kind of wanted. If you go back and look at like hieroglyphics and all this kind of stuff, this narrative, this story makes a lot of sense. It just fits with everything. I know it's crazy. It's out there.
I'm here, by the way. You're doing just great.
Oh, gotcha.
You're
cool,
doing just
awesome.
Great. I've been listening for a long time.
Thanks, man. Thank you. And yeah, it's just I just really passionate about this. This is why this episode's taking a while. I've literally started over like twice trying to really convey this message. So there's a few more surprises, a little more connections to be made, but that's kind of the bulk of how they think the pyramids were made. Pretty nuts. You guys should call in. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, what you think. If you think it's bullshit, if you think it's plausible, if you think it's interesting. But yeah, what do you think, Mike?
I don't know what to think, to be honest. So I don't know how I feel. So, okay. So here's the thing. I can't remote view. So to be perfectly honest, I've never actually tried myself, like actually giving it like an honest shot. So like, I don't know. So if it's possible to humans, right? But again, right, here's the problem with all of this, right? And how I think that we need to really frame this to discuss this properly is that just because one human can't do it, let's say me, right? Whether it's ability or interest or whatever it happens to be, doesn't mean another human can't, right? And I think that's important to say. So like, if we frame ourselves in that, well, you know, like most people can't do this, so that doesn't mean all people can't do this, right? I mean, there's an important conversation to be had there. And I think, I don't know, like the CIA was interested in remote viewing, you know, like they actually had a thing called Project Stargate. We had a show on it. We've talked about it several times. Again, Ingo Swann, INGOSWANN. Look it up. Like the guy was actually part of the CIA program. And so you tell me, like, I don't know, like regarding this, I'm not sure what to think. I don't disbelieve it, but I don't believe it, right? I'm kind of in the middle. Like as I get more data, maybe who knows? Maybe I'm the most talented viewer ever. And I don't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know until you try. So I'm not sure. I'm like, I kind of got one foot in each camp at this point. I'm drinking the maybe juice. Like I kind of like that. Maybe we need to make that a t-shirt, the maybe juice here. Cause I think it's really like paramount to what the conversation is. Like we're not saying this is the truth of things, but we're saying, hey, if this is possible, right, then maybe people should be talking about this. And I think that's what this is about. So I'm in between. I don't know. I don't know. Again, like many things, like I think that's the best part about this. Like many of the things we talk about, I do not know. I don't have an answer here. However, that doesn't mean you don't. Like there's so many of you out there that listen to us that you know more than I do. Like I know about, you know, having a nice compression on my voice and, you know, running a radio show and, you know, hopefully not sticking my foot in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot about those things, but there's a lot of other things that you guys out there that are listening know about that I don't. And so that's the thing. That's why we do this live. That's why we get together. 702-957-1037. Call us. Let us know what you think. Do you think the aliens...
Smooth transition, Mike.
You like that?
Was great.
Do you like that? Do you think the aliens actually built the pyramids? Do you think people built the pyramids? Do you think that the ley lines are a thing? Do you think the magnetic field or whatever, as it changes and grows and shifts and does this and does that, do you think the ley lines are locked into that and move, as Philip suggested from Southern Oregon? What's up, Philip? I see you there. Thanks for showing up. That great comment tonight. I mean, these are the things we don't think about when we're putting this show together. But you guys being here and being live with us, you change our mind on the fly. Like, you add details that we didn't think about on the fly. And again, like I said, that's what this is all about. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what to think. Like, I'm going to say I'm agnostic regarding this. I don't know. But again, I don't know. I'll leave it there.
Well, and so to clear it up, it's not that exactly aliens built the pyramid. It's that an alien influenced humanity to build the pyramids and assisted them. So it's kind of like, people say, oh, is it the aliens or is it the humans? Well, it's both. And so as far as like the stones being cut, that was like grays on the ground, but humans moved it and then assembled the pyramid. And they may not have even interacted with the grays ever. Maybe they thought the gods just stones just showed. You know what I mean? They just pull up and there's a stone there and they just grab it and walk away. So I mean, this is what they're saying. It's kind of like the mother of all ancient aliens. This is like Ancient Aliens 2.0, man. This is like Ancient Aliens on crack. But it's really fascinating, super interesting stuff. You can't argue it's not interesting. It's not,
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Hot fire.
No matter what you believe, exactly. Like, I think this is the type of conversation that needs to be had. Just because I think, given that many people don't even know what remote viewing is, right? First and foremost. And then second, like, there's been, again, like I said, CIA interest, and there's been people, not just that, traveling astrally, right? Like, there's tons of things here that are supposedly possible, okay? I can't do any of these things. If I was, again, I've said this 100 times, I'll keep saying it. If I could do any of this shit, why would I be here right now on a microphone on the internet? I'd be doing that shit. You know what I mean? I can't do it. So, it doesn't mean it's not possible for me. It just means I have not been, I don't know. I'm not good at it. I haven't tried. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. I think kind of raising the level of consciousness of people to maybe whatever is possible is worthy of a conversation. I think that's probably the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it. Okay. So okay, we got one more clip. Let's play this. So we're gonna just do your clips, Ash. We pretty much I literally have 2 more hours of shit to do, but well, I think to keep it concise, we'll just stick with what we're talking about. The remote viewing, like Ash said, the aliens themselves maybe didn't build the pyramids, but they somehow assisted. There's a lot here. Again, remote viewers, and not only that, highly renowned remote viewers. Again, like Courtney Brown and his Farside.org, with a lot of the people that we've seen in the past. Videos we played, do check it out. Actually, I'll link it again if you guys want to take a look at this. But this is crazy stuff. Crazy cool stuff. Crazy worth talking about stuff, if you ask me. And let's play this last bit there, Ash. I got one more clip from this guy, and let's do it. Let's play it. 3, 2, 1, action. Now he's drawing on a whiteboard here. Now what the F is he drawing? Uh-oh. Did we get here? I think we got here.
Yeah, baby.
Listen to this guy.
When I saw this, I freaked the hell out.
So he's drawing on the whiteboard from what he's actually remote viewed about building the pyramids. Here he goes. And it appears to be...
The subject, the target for this was the intelligence behind the pyramids, like the person who thought to build the pyramid.
Okay, there we go. And he writes caretaker.
That's the caretaker.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop it right here. Before he talks about this, now this thing looks like, I don't know, not human. I think that's for sure. Number 2, maybe like the Elephant Man, or something like that. Or what else does this look like, Ash?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You have no idea.
It's a freaking mantis alien, guys. It's like freaking alien. Crazy, weird aliens. This is the thing from abductions. I studied abductions for years. And this freaking thing kept coming up. It was in charge. And this actual remote viewing plugged in some holes that made it all make sense. These beings are in charge. They create their worker force. That worker force interacts with you when you are abducted. They oversee the abductions. These are the actual aliens. And one of these suckers was behind the pyramids. Look at that's Ra.
That's well, no, it could be. And this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
So we know this. We've talked about this. Everybody who's into this type of thing understands that maybe these actual like far back entities, the gods of the ancient times, may have been aliens themselves, like it's been said, right? And so maybe, right? Okay. So what's more plausible, right? Like gods manifest or demigods from the heavens come down and help people, right? You got that. Cool, right? Fine. I got no problem with that. Or aliens that are attributed as gods come down from the actual heavens. You know what I mean? Like I think both are plausible, and I think that's why I think in the end that's why a lot of people really believe that this is possible. This is a possible thing. The ancient alien theory is a possible thing. We have like a lot of time frame between when modern humans are modern humans and then where we were many things less according to Darwinian evolution. I mean, there's a lot here. So let's play a little bit more of this. As he says, the caretaker, he drew a picture of what appears to be maybe like a mantis alien called the caretaker. Here we go, action.
The overseer.
An overseer.
Actually,
which is what they're called in abductions. That's what they do in abductions.
Like Elephant Man. It's not Elephant Man. This is Praying Mantis Lady. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Did I say that? This is not...
He said it.
These are eyes. This is not Elephant Man. This is Praying Mantis Lady. And she's actually has a kind of a... For how spooky looking this is, has a nurturing feel, like a female, almost motherly kind of feel. Not startling, but not frightening. To her, we look like guppies. We're not scary. We're just different. Very intelligent, but caring in a certain way.
Okay, I'm gonna kill this just because we have a caller on the line. We got a caller. I hear you. We're gonna get you out in just a sec. Okay, so this guy, he's saying caretaker, overseer, mantis beings. They have a benevolent, like, attitude toward humans, and they're here to help us. All right, that's probably not what's been said about the actual.
Well,
go ahead, real quick before we take this
call. Yeah, it's not necessarily directed toward humans. It's got a nurturing energy. Generally, it's feminine. Basically, maybe.
I see. Like,
you see, so yeah, it could mean what you said. I just want to make sure we don't like say that narrative.
Yeah. I don't know either. I don't know either.
Because we don't freaking know what the agenda. I'm pretty sold on these things being real, but I'm not 100%. But we're not sure what those things, their agenda is, and they're interacting with the Earth today very aggressively. So anyway, yeah, let's take the caller.
Okay, let's go. We got a call here, and I have an idea who this might be. You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. What's your first name, or where are you calling from?
My name is Richard, and I'm calling from Pleasant Hill.
Richard, Pleasant California. Hill. That's California. I've been there. I used to live out there. What's up, my man? Yeah. Richard from Pleasant Hill. Thanks for calling tonight.
Me too.
Did you? Nice. So what's on your mind, man?
Well, I think you guys are having a really interesting and fantastic conversation going on here. Having a conversation outside of this radio show like this, it's complete ridicule and dismissal quickly, because we're talking about aliens. And when you look out in the night sky on a clear night and you see all the stars, I think it's ridiculous to assume that we're not alone. And I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe, but I've personally been looking at this information for maybe 10 to 15 years, and I've taken time to use some people who've claimed they've been abducted by aliens, or people who've talked that said that they're actually not from this particular reality. And it's very interesting when you keep an open mind to the information where it takes you. Most people, they'll hear a conversation like this and they'll just dismiss it because it doesn't compute with what they believe in. And I think it's really important to have an open, mature discussion. I don't claim to be an expert, but I will say that I believe in my heart that from what I've researched, we're not alone at all. It sounds to me like they've been interacting with us for a long time, and according to some ancient text, they've been either responsible for destroying or shaping human civilization. Like Sumeria was, according to the Sumerian text, the Anunnaki came down here from another planet, genetically manipulated us, and they came out here because they wanted to mine gold. And they said that they interacted with us, and they genetically manipulated us to be the slave race. And you hear the story like all over the world. You hear it in Africa. They call it Chinese literature. There's an empress called Poor. You have it in Australia. So you hear the story of aliens coming down here and interacting with us and genetically manipulating us. And if you ask me, I feel like this non-human force plays a huge role in our society today. They could be, for what I know, either responsible for shaping or destroying, or shaping or destroying history of humans. But not to say that all of them are bad, but there's a lot of benevolent ones out there, but there's also other ones that just wish to manipulate us. And quite frankly, it's very rare that I hear people who have open discourse about this kind of topic. I'm not an expert when it comes to remote viewing. I've heard of people's experiences and so on and so forth. And I heard you guys talking about the pyramid and who created the pyramid, stuff like that. And,
fantastic.
I'll say this. Humans are very intelligent to create that. Now, were they responsible for the pyramids? They're strong at it that, and did aliens, non-humans do it? They're strong at it to support that too. What I can say is that we live in a matrix where we get dished out misinformation all the time to us. We don't live in a world where information is put out there openly for people to see, where they can connect the dots and get a picture of what reality really is. That the information is suppressed from the population intentionally. I have to add that. And it's basically people, see flying vehicles and they think that, aliens can. No, humans are flying those things from the 1950s. Hitler used to back engineer alien spacecraft, and he used to have his own little space program back in the 1950s. That's during World War II, 1938 to 45. That was very well documented.
The Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters.
Nazis over here.
The Foo Fighters is what that was called.
Sorry, was that?
That's the Foo Fighters. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they used to film all that, but I mean, that's on the official level. But on a non-official level, that what they don't disclose to the general public is that we played a hand. They had created a UFO kind of aircraft using BMW type engines. It didn't run on the same kind of propulsion that you see in UFO today, like where it's got they manipulate the gravity field around the aircraft, and that's why it's able to move in all sorts of directions. It didn't run like that. Now, how far they took it beyond that, I don't know. I will say that I don't believe the official narrative. And so we have these vehicles. We've been back engineering this stuff for a long time. We've heard before back. It's our technology being used that we would never believe is possible. And a lot of people say that all this technology comes from researchers. There was one researcher, I think his name was he wasn't a researcher, he was a geologist. His name was Phil Schneider, and he was murdered in the early 90s.
We talked about him. Yep, the deep underground bases, the firefight with the aliens. He was shot in the chest.
That's where aliens and humans interact with each other.
Yep.
And that's where all the technology is being made, and that's where all the good technology is being made, and that they give us the. And what I mean by they, I'm talking about the 1%, the elite that hoard everything from us. And so, he came out and he in the early 90s, and he went on to expose all the deep underground military bases throughout the whole country. And, and he went on to, he was very knowledgeable, and he was very smart, and I believed him, not because he was murdered, but he was a very brave man, and he said to me, made sense. That's the whole thing with all this. People got to look at information. Yeah.
That was the official story. Was a suicide, man. Yeah. You got to say it right, or you get black men, or not. I said that wrong. Men in black knocking at your door, kicking your door, boots on your neck. You see what I said there? Dear God.
Oh man,
I'm just ruined. I'm ruined. You see what I just did there? Because I had a brain fart. I'm ruined. No, but men in black knocking on your door. You got to say the official story was suicide. That's what I meant. I'll edit that out. Nobody worry. It was just Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Okay. Well, I mean, me personally, quite frankly, I speak the truth. I don't talk anything. I don't. Official narrative is probably what they said was a suicide, but I don't believe that. But that's.
I know.
People lie all the time about stuff.
Listen though. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to help us. Let's just drop the official line so everybody knows, wink, wink, what the official line is, and then we can move on and talk about the speculation. You see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help everybody involved here.
I do, but I'll say this. I will say this. These people that were, I'm not worried about them, but these people that people are worried about, they're more worried about us being what's going on. They have no power whatsoever, zero power. Their power is us complying, acquiescing to what we think we should be doing. They know this too. I'm talking about the elite. They know this. We shouldn't be afraid of these people, quite frankly. We outnumber them. They're there. The few can only control the many if the many allow the few to do that. So, I mean, we're talking about scared little people who get up in the morning who are worried about losing their control over us, because what they do is they manipulate people's perception from perception.
No, agreed.
Behavior.
Agreed.
Perception comes from, it comes from information received. And so when you control the influence that people, which can come from Facebook, it can come from the news, it can come from a conversation, you are in effect dictating people's perception. Now, I'm coming from the perception that we're all powerful, that we are unique expressions of consciousness, just like aliens believe themselves. That's why they have no problem leaving this reality. That's why I have no problem dying, because they know that it's just an experience. That's all this is. My time in this reality is just an experience. And now, do I want to leave this reality? No. I don't want to leave. I'm not ready to, but at the same time too, the truth needs to get out, and the people, this is a good program, but I will say that, and I respect your program, but I'll say that these people are not powerful. They're actually pathetic, quite, because they have to control everything. They have to control what people think, control people's behavior, control what people see and hear. And people who are secure with themselves don't have to do stuff like that. It's insecure people who have to do stuff like that. That's why they have to throw so many lies at us to keep us in an unnatural state. They know that we are all powerful. You know, I get on here because I've done the research, and you know, I'm sure a lot of people on here agree with me. We need to understand something about humans. A lot of people will agree with me, but some people might not call the station in because of the fear of what other people think about them. That's the number one fear that most people live in. And so we need to get past that and you know, and get the truth out there, no matter what the consequences are, because that's the only thing that's the only way we're gonna change things. I try to do what I can, and I think you guys are great for giving me the opportunity to voice myself. I've been on Fox News, well, not Fox News, but I've dealt with Hannity before, not Hannity, but Alan Combs and some other mainstream journalists who, in my opinion, are journalists, because if there's a line the media won't cross when it comes to putting out information to the public.
Right.
They know that there's consequences for going over that line. So they want to get the paycheck. They want to.
Hey, bro, check this out.
Be able to pay for the mortgage.
We live over that line. This show lives over that line. We literally are in the fringe of things.
I'm glad.
That's what we do. That's what we do, man. That's why. That's why we have
that
this show.
line is anymore.
Yeah.
Like, where do you remember how far back that line was? I don't know. We were out and we were out in left field.
I'm glad that you guys do, and I'm trying to encourage other people out there that we need to stop thinking about the consequences of what am I doing, you know, and let the consequences. I'm talking more to myself than I'm talking to anyone else, honestly, because I still go through it and I get it, you know. But I have to do the best I can and roll. If things are just going to get worse, I'll be very blunt that they've been using. We should all be living like kings right now. There's no reason why we should be living the way that we're living. We should be living like kings and queens. Technology is being used that we've never believed was possible, and that there are at least 100. At least 100 bare minimum years beyond what we see in the public today. Ridiculous what they have. Like that, I've talked to doctors who said that the cures for cancer has been around for a long time. They're talking about 20 years, you know. But health is not about health in this but wealth. And so, you know, we and this all stuff ties into aliens. I mean, people.
Hey, hold on. I got to stop you. We got to wind this up. We got a caller behind you. We got to finish the show up. Final thoughts. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call, man. We just can't keep going on forever. So, okay. Final thoughts. Thank you so much for the call. I'm from your neck of the woods, man. I lived out there for a very long time. I'm very familiar with that area of California. Thanks for calling. Final thoughts before we move on to the next caller.
Aliens exist, and be yourself. Speak your truth, not what other people believe you should be.
There you go. I think that's as pertinent as any we've heard. I appreciate it, my man. You're the best. Again, is it Richard, right, from Pleasant Hill?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call. Do add us, man. Do follow us. Do listen. Do call us from time to time. We do this twice a week. We do this on Tuesday. We do this on Friday. Typically, we're on a weird Sunday night because we had a schedule misfire. But Tuesday, Friday, go to troublewinds.org. Join the crew, man. You're a smart dude. We appreciate all your input there, and thank you so much for the call. Have a great night. Okay.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure is all ours, man. Thank you so much. There we go. Richard from Pleasant Hill. There you go. Again,
awesome.
This is what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
Look at all the smart people they call. Look at all the smart people they call. That's all I want to say.
There's a lot of us, man.
Yeah, you'd expect the ramblings of weirdos, right? The ramblings of weirdos, and that's not this. Like the people that call this place, the only time we get ramblings of weirdos are trolls. Like we literally rarely. It's probably like the 99th percentile that we get smart people. Go ahead. I'm gonna get Tamron in here, and then we'll finish this sucker up. What do you think about that?
I mean, he made some good points. I think there's a lot of people who research stuff. They put things together, and they feel like they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to talk about this stuff. It's frustrating, man. It's kind of like, I feel like if you're smart and you're inquisitive, and you kind of let go, you let your mind learn and soak things up. These weirdo things that people like get turned off by become just normal. They just become ideas that are totally plausible, and we shouldn't limit our conversation. We shouldn't let them, those guys,
put
us in a box and then just live there.
Yeah.
Don't make it easy for them. So I'm really glad you called in, man. I could sense your like frustration. We all have it, and this is a great place for you. This is a home for you. We talk about literally every freaking thing.
All the
Mike
shit,
has done so many shows.
All the shit we're not supposed to talk about. Basically, we've done. I'm not gonna say most of it because there's no way. Because when you're like, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what we've covered. No, the shit like it just ends up in a twice as big shit show tomorrow. So there's always stuff to talk about here. This is crazy stuff. All right, Tam, we're bringing you on in Discord. Here we go. Let's try this. See if this works. Testing 1 2. Tam, unmute yourself. Let's see. Can I unmute? Can you unmute? No. I think you got to do it. I think you got to unmute. We got you in. Nope. Try it again. Bringing you in. All right. You're on the thing. Tam, shoot. Unmute. So basically you're in the queue with us and it just says you're muted. So that's the thing. So if you just unmute whatever you're on.
I think she was saying she couldn't hear. So I think she's trying to see if she can hear before she unmutes.
I see.
Start talking to nobody.
Okay, so anyway,
that's what I read.
Okay, so let's wind this up. I just tried to unmute you, Tam, and it didn't work. Hold on, let's go. Let's do this one more time. You're on air with us, so just you keep jumping up.
Oh, she's gone.
Keep jumping up.
Okay.
I did it.
You have to bring her in, right? Yeah, you have to.
Do it. Okay. So anyway, let's wind this up. All right. So basically, here's the thing, right? So we're talking about the reason why people believe that the pyramids were not built by people specifically, right? Only people, right? So we have the ancient astronaut theory where they say, like the Georgios Tsoukalos with the big hair. We have Zecharia Sitchin that actually translated the Sumerian text and says that by his best estimation, he thinks, and many people call him a fraud, etc., so on, but he thinks that aliens were here from a very long time ago, the Anunnaki, right? We're talking about they have a history of 750 million years ago, right? That they've had the planet Nibiru, they were on Mars, they were on Earth, they were trying to get gold to bring back to save the Nibiru, the planet with the, like there's a lot there. Again, that's not the topic of the show, but that's why some people believe the pyramids weren't built by people alone. Then we have this other thing where we have remote viewers that are able to go back, right? Like I said, remote viewing is kind of like an unlock. It's kind of like a cheat code, a universal cheat code to unlock time and space. And you're able to go not just spatially, but in time space and look at different things in the universe. And so some of these remote viewers have stated and actually corroborated maybe what Zecharia Sitchin have said or has said. And there was some sort of collaboration here between people and aliens and the rest of this. What do you think? Let's wind this up, and then if we can't get Tam on, then yeah, it's a Discord call.
Yeah. If there's a truth, there's a truth, right? There's just like our caller was saying, it kind of just is what it is, and we have to not be scared to talk about these things. And this going back to right to the end, the mantis being, this thing shows up in a lot of different things, and a lot of different stories and whatnot, and that they create a genetic They create this, like, they use genetics to basically create workers, and they've messed with us to try and get us to trick us to build things, right? And that they've had a presence on this planet for a long time. And who's to say they had pharaohs in the past that they don't have pharaohs right now? You know, there's that whole Illuminati triangle. Well, maybe that's the all-seeing eye, right? Referencing back to the same entity of the old days, the pyramids, these mantises, or maybe these alien beings dictate policy through our leaders. And I mean, if they were there 10,000 years ago, if they were there millions of years ago, they're here now. And these mantis beings show up in abductions time and time again. We're talking about abductees talking about the same one. Not like, okay, I saw a mantis. No, like I saw the same mantis. And they saw the same hybrids, and it's a long thing, and I don't want to get into it. But it's very interesting that these things keep showing up, and that this whole thing pretty much almost matches the plot of Stargate. And so, I mean, in Stargate, the bad guy, the alien, is Ra, which is actually a Gual, or something like that. Ra al Ghul or something like that. And
what language are they trying to? You're killing me.
I don't know. The Gowl, something like that.
The
I sound like Arnold. Right. Get to the aliens.
Get to the chopper. What are you waiting for? All right.
Well, so in Stargate, those things are the bad guys, and that they take possession of humans, and they use humans to exist on this planet, and then they rule for long periods of time, and then they transfer their consciousness to a new body, which is kind of the story of the pharaohs. Now, I'm not going to say Stargate is the gospel, right? We don't know. But it is interesting that so many things kind of tied together, especially with the Stargate, with the remote viewing and everything like that. So if we look at Stargate more, it's like, are they trying to say that these mantis things are bad? That these things are bad, that they're an empire conquering kind of civilization? I don't know. I don't want to claim that, but I've been trying to kind of look between the lines and see, what are they putting out? What are they trying to say? In Men in Black, there's a bug is the bad guy, and that's what these things are. In ancient times, ant people grabbed people and took them underground to protect them from a catastrophe, so they would live on. Were they doing that to help humans, or were they just doing that to keep their livestock alive that they used to generate clones from? During the Salem witch trials, when people were abducted. Salem witch trials with witches and stuff. Was that just them abducting, creating a new line of clones? Are we just so primitive that we just don't really understand what's going on? But what's frustrating for me is that I believe that parts of the government know a lot of this stuff, and they keep it from us for one reason or another. And it's just frustrating to not be in on the conversation. There's so many people that call in, and your guys are listening. This stuff sounds crazy or whatever. But, I mean, you guys aren't freaking out, right? So
no, like I said, like the vast majority of people, like literally okay, so the funny part is, right, 99.7% of scientists agree that global warming is real, but that's not actually real because, well, a lot more disagree that we don't have enough data. However, 99.7% of the people that call on the show are not insane. Here we go. Let's bring Tam in. Speaking of not insane. Tam, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. Can you hear us now? Are you on the show? What's going on? Testing 1 2. You should be good.
Are you out there, Tam? Tam.
Testing 1 2.
Damn.
No, nothing. I even
one.
made her an admin. I made her an admin. We're going to bring Todd in. Todd, testing 1 2. Todd, are you working, buddy?
Hey, Todd, how you doing, man?
Hey. Yeah, bring Tam in.
Okay, I'll do it. I did. Testing 1 2.
I heard her.
She bounced
I heard
off
her for a second.
Like she literally.
I heard her groan.
She clicks right off. So I bring her in on air, and she literally clicks right off back to the color queue. Testing 1 2. Tam, you there? Don't touch it.
Hello.
Hey,
oh dear
hey,
Lord.
we hear you.
We got Tam and Todd.
Amen.
What's up? All right, let's go ladies first. Tam, what's up? You've been waiting a long time. Sorry about that. What's on your mind? How you
Tam
feeling
and Todd.
tonight?
You guys should have a show. Tam and Todd. Tam, it's got a good ring to it.
There you go. Go ahead, Tam.
Sounds like a porn movie.
A bad one, by the way. A bad one. A bad one.
Oh, maybe I've seen that one before. That's why. No, I don't know.
Go ahead, Tam.
What a mission. Sorry, Discord has changed everything. So I had to do all these things and then it didn't allow me to speak and it's drama. But
That's
anyway,
okay. Part of that's my
I
fault.
have been waiting for a while and I haven't been hearing what everyone's been saying for the last 20 minutes. So you might have to catch me up a little.
No problem. We're just talking about the pyramids. We're talking about the Anunnaki and maybe remote viewing and how all that kind of fits together. So go right ahead.
I'm just ranting about alien mantises, like I always do. So
pretty much,
you didn't miss anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah, alien mantis. That's the thing I've been hearing about lately. I mean, I don't know, but then again, do we really know anything that's out there? Do we really know? Because everything comes from something and something, legend and stories and all those things. Do you really actually know? So that's a question.
Of
and
course
then
not.
also, what
Of course
you're
not.
talking about remote viewing. Mike, you said something that it's someone else. You might not be. That person might be able to remote viewing, but you don't know because you're in between. You're on the fence about this whole thing. But my theory comes in. My question comes in is, say for instance, your best friend can do mechanical engineering like nobody's business, but you can't. But you trust that he can. It's the kind of the same principle. I mean, he's been given a gift of remote viewing, and then we question it because we can't do it. And that's silly.
No, you're totally right. You're absolutely right, and that's why, like I said, I don't discount it as being something that's not possible because just because, again, like I said, just because me myself can't do it doesn't mean other people can't do it, and that's a perfect example. Like many people are really good at working on cars or many other like simple like niche things that they can do that I can't do and they do it well. Like some people are just super mechanically inclined. You're completely right. You're completely right. And go right ahead. That's exactly what I was saying. And you're completely right.
But if the CIA gets involved, I mean, if the CIA can do it, then it has to be true. You always sit on the fence about everything when it regards to government. But anyway, and then you were talking about Stranger Things, the movie, and with remote viewing. But then you got to think about Men in Black. So I've been doing research on the human brain and your higher self and all those things, and it's come to a conclusion where the general human being, the average human being, cannot actually bring up or fathom or imagine new things. It has to be something that you have to hear something and you build on that thing. So if I talk about mugs, then you as the next person would say, I want to put a nice saying on that mug. And then the next person say, okay, I want to mass produce that mug because it's so awesome. We don't have the ability to actually think up something crazy. It always has to stem from building on something else. So that's my question is, with the people who made Men in Black and Star Wars and whatever, do you not think, and there's some theory people talking about in the background, that they've actually had connections or talking to air quote aliens in secret bases or whatever about what's actually happening out there in the universe or the Galactic air quote Federation? That's my question, because if you look at Hillary's emails, some of the emails that got released was about her talking about we need and I'm talking out of context here, but we need to keep the peace between the Galactic Federation and the Earth government or whatever. So do you not think all these stories come from something, from legend, from stories, from wherever?
Yeah, I think so. So actually, I think the particular email you're referencing from WikiLeaks there is from Paul De Podesta, which was actually the guy that was running the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Oh, he's evil.
Yeah, evil as hell, right? Like that. That's the spirit cooking guy and all the rest of that. So he in the email he specifically said something, or somebody emailed him something about. So here's the context, and this is important. He didn't say it. somebody emailed him about aliens in the contiguous universe, right? That was the actual quote, contiguous universe. And so he never actually answered the email. And so I think part of the problem is that because he didn't answer, you don't like the people have traced back to that individual person, the email address, and you know how they do. The internet does their thing. They find whoever. They're going to find me eventually, and we'll have a problem. But well, that's my problem to deal with. But eventually, right? Like, eventually, the internet does their thing, and so they traced back to whoever it was, and they said that it was a kind of like a they discredited them, is what I'm saying. And I don't say that that's a legitimate discredit, because just because you call me a racist doesn't make me a racist. It just means you called me that, you know? So like, I don't know. Like, I think that's the thing here. I don't know. Like maybe, yeah. I think there's a lot here to talk about. And again, that's part of the conversation. That's why we do this show. Like, there's so much that might be, maybe, who knows? And I don't know. If I had answers, I'd just tell you the answer and we'd end. But there's no answers here.
You know what's funny about that? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that they actually just did an episode like a month ago, this remote viewing agency, where they remote viewed who wrote Star Wars?
George Lucas.
George Lucas, and they tried to see if he was drawing from experience or whatever, and so they actually remote viewed to see that exact thing that you just asked. Yeah. You should check out that episode. But they found that he was drawing from like past experiences in his soul, like his soul had past experiences, or something like that. So it's pretty interesting. You should check that one out. That's so it's kind of funny how you said that. Yeah,
it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's for real. It's for real.
Well, there we go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe his soul is refurbished.
Yeah, right. Like probably many of us. Hopefully we're on the good end of this. Okay. Final thought. We got Todd right behind you, Tam. Final thoughts before we move on to him?
No, well, listen. I've been waiting for so long. Todd can wait like 2 minutes.
You stay here. Okay. You stay here and listen. All right. Todd, you're up. What's up, buddy? What are your thoughts on all this? Mantis aliens and the rest of this? Go ahead.
All right. Well, the whole thing with the Mantis aliens, in my opinion, all the things I've ever seen about Mantis beings have always said they're indifferent to humans and they really don't give a shit about us. So the whole thing about them having Greys built or cut stuff for the pyramids, I think is total bullshit.
Okay.
They're known to be scientists. They're known to not give a shit, have any emotions towards humans.
Okay, fair enough. So let me ask you, how do you feel about remote viewing? Do you think it's a possible thing for people or not at all?
I think it's mostly he said, she said, because there's no way to prove it. People can say things and say that they're proven or say that they predicted something, but that can all be, he said, she said too. It could just be a wild guess and maybe they were right. I've seen shows on remote viewing where they said that the aliens there was aliens on Mars before the planet got all fucked up or whatever, and they came here. And so, but then there's a story.
I've heard that too.
Then there's the stories of the Anunnaki who used Mars as a way station. So there's so many different stories. But what I have to say is all the ancient megalithic buildings, they were all molded by some kind of whatever that could melt stone, because there's proof of it in the pyramid on the steps that are melted. And the H blocks that are in Peru, I think that's where they're from. The H blocks, you can tell that they're molded and they all fit perfectly in together.
That's Pumu
So they had a molding system.
Pumu. Yep.
But
that does corroborate with the Greys melting them underground thing. Well, I mean, at least that part of it. So.
Right, but it could also, there's also trees, how trees are grown into Angkor Wat is because trees have some kind of liquid or some kind of something inside them that can melt through the stone and break it apart. So that's how I think they were molded like that.
Interesting.
Yep, I never heard that. Yeah, good stuff.
And I also want to say about George Lucas, about Star Wars, he said himself, he did a lot of research into mythology and ancient Greece and right and wrong and all that. That's how he came up with his Star Wars stories.
Yeah, he's actually got a degree in anthropology, FYI. So
Right.
if you guys are I don't have a degree in anthropology. I have a friend that does, and I've read a ton about it, as you guys can tell by listening to the show. We do Greek mythology and the rest of this. So like there's a lot of these themes that kind of are recycled. So yeah, I mean that's a good point. That maybe he's not like a recycled soul. Maybe he read a lot of books and got it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that I think one person who might have had an alien influence in all his stuff is Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek. Because a lot of the Star Trek themes are like Corey Goode. I know a lot of Corey Goode's what he says is not really believable, but some of the stuff he says goes right along with Gene Roddenberry's whole theme of Star Trek. So I don't know if he took it from Star Trek and made it his own or the other way around.
Do you know Corey Goode charges for information?
He does. Now he does. He didn't before.
He charges like $10,000 for information.
That's crazy.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. Him and David Wilcock, they became famous and now they want to charge people for information.
And that program Gaia, they also, you got to pay.
It's all paywall. Yeah, it's all paywall. Yep.
Why pay for information that we should know about? I mean, that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem is with all that type of stuff. If you literally have information that changes the entirety of humanity, which I never claim to have, and we don't here. We have questions, we don't have answers. But if you have that, why would you paywall that? like it changes humanity. For crying out loud.
It's like the cure for cancer.
Exactly.
By Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah. I don't know. Again, like I said, we're a show about questions, not about answers. I don't really know. I can't, like, you guys are all smarter than me, and that's just the way it is. And yeah.
That's not true. We wouldn't be listening to you if we were.
No. That's the truth. All right. So we got Tam and Todd here. We're about to end this. So let's do this. You guys hang out with us for a minute. We're going to end this show because we've been on for damn near 4 hours. That's a long time. Like people need to eat. People getting hungry. All right, Ash, real quick, go ahead and finish this up. Let's wind this out, and then we'll go Tam next, and we'll go Todd final, and then we'll finish this bitch up. Let's do it.
Sounds great. I like the 4-man team, the group effort.
Yeah.
One more, and we can summon Captain Planet. Just one more person.
Perfect. Wonder Twins activate. Go ahead.
Well, it took me a while to kind of gather this information. I'm working on an episode. I hope you guys check out my channel. I'm Ash, the Reptilian from Mars. Got some funny stuff over there, some interesting content, and I got a lot more things in the pipe. Just getting quicker at getting it out, I guess. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope maybe you believe it, maybe you don't. But it's fun to have the conversation, and I think it's important to have conversations like this. And thanks everyone for calling in. Thanks, Tam and Todd. I mean, I still love that Tam and Todd. That's a great
porno.
name.
It's a bad porno.
Tam and Todd, thank you guys for hopping in.
Thanks, Richard. Yep, from Pleasant Hill.
Thanks, Richard.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for thank you, Mike, for giving me a platform to rant about Mantis aliens for the 50th time. And I hope you guys have a good week. It's Sunday, right? Yeah. So
Sunday.
Take it easy. Keep it low. Just survive 2020. And that's it.
There we go.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks. We'll keep you on, Ash. Tam, you're up. As soon as you're done, I'll move you out, and then Todd's up next. Fire away, Tam.
Cool. So I just want everyone to understand that, when you talk about pyramids and you talk about all these things that happened, people forget the timeline. And, just take an example of I mean, 800,000, whatever the case is. So you need to take into account the timeline. What we're talking about could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years that's happened. And, cowboys weren't so long ago and, that kind of living. And so do your research and find out specific timelines. That's so important. But great show. Love it. I want to do it again. A collab with Tam and Todd and Reptilians and weird people.
You're always welcome. You know how to find us. You know how to get on here. Again, if you want to be part of the show, Tam, let me know. We can adjust the time frame for you a little bit if you want. We can go a little bit later or something. Let me know if you want to do like a particular thing. This is open to everybody. You let me know. We'll get you on the show. We'll talk for quite a bit. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's Tam. There's Tam Bam. Yeah. Again, think of all the just moved you out. So think of all the great smart people we get in this show. Like, it's ridiculous, right? We get that's Tamron from South Africa, of all places. South Africa, okay? So we get people from New Zealand. We get people from the United Kingdom. We get people from the damn world over, okay? Like, this is important. These are important conversations, I think. Todd, you're up, buddy. Todd, let's finish this up, man.
All right. Just want to say also, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. What's his name? Steven Spielberg. He had long talks with what's that guy's name from Project Blue Book? The scientist guy.
Oh, the guy who headed the project.
Yeah, what was his name?
J. Allen Hynek. J. Allen.
Yeah,
Hynek.
J. Allen Hynek.
Mike.
Steven Spielberg had a lot of talks with J. Allen Hynek before he made Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, he was actually a what would you call it? Like
an extra in the movie. He was in there too.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and one more thing I wanted to say. This is a little philosophical. I said it in chat earlier, but every living thing is symbiotic with something else. We have like microscopic creatures on our skin that eat other things off our skin, and we have little microscopic creatures in our eyeballs, everything, right? So the smaller you go, there's always something feeding off of something else. And people always look down to smaller and smaller and smaller. But what if you were to look bigger and think of us as a part of the Earth, and the Earth is part of space, and space is part of something even bigger, as a giant symbiotic relationship with a giant living entity?
Yeah.
Just think of that.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted.
Like the universe is conscious, man. You never know. I that's the thing. I think that's why we have this discussion. That's why we do this. Again, I can't point out that Todd here in the chat with us was one of the first two people that ever showed up to listen to us live, and it means a lot. Here we are, 2.5+ years later, and Todd's still listening here and there. So I appreciate it, man. Great takes on everything. Great takes on the Anunnaki, and Tam Bam, Richard from Pleasant Hill, Paul from New Hampshire, thank you so much for the calls. Thanks for hanging on every word. Thanks for all the input. You guys are amazing. I appreciate it.
No problem.
There we go. And we finish. As we finish, there we go. I'm gonna mute you, Todd. Tam and Todd, you're about to be muted, but you can hang out and listen to the rest of this as we go. Here we go. I'm playing the outro music. This is done. 4 hours. People start to get hungry. We got to do our thing. Here we go. Let's play some outro music. What's it going to be? How about this one right here? Yeah, let's go this one. Ash, finish this up, buddy.
What's up, Mike?
You already know.
Let's close this out.
Let's close it out.
Close it out, man.
You first, buddy. Go right ahead.
All right. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We went on a magical journey with aliens at the end. It was fun. It was good. There's more shows coming up. I got more content I'm pushing out. It's literally just the bottleneck. I have so much crazy stuff like this. And as I do research, I find more and more stuff, and it just makes it more insane. But I hope you guys got a little peek of my show. We had a great time tonight. It was fun and a lot of engagement. Keep calling in. Keep your eyes to the skies. Keep your mind open. And just keep learning about all this crazy stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's all the same, right? It connects. So thank you for tuning in. And wrap it up, Mike. Tag you in, buddy.
Let's do it, buddy. Tagged in. All right, here we go. So at the end of this, as always, we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back on Friday. The weeks have been a little weird. Some things happen. Life happens. We'll be back Tuesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Now, this is the thing. If you want to help us, oh shit, we got the jitters. The jitters are happening, which is in perfect timing. People getting hungry. If you want to help us out, troubledminds.org. Share it. Tell somebody, hey, you're not alone. There are people out there that have open minds and are not judgmental. And they want you to call in. They want to hear what you have to say. That's what this show's about. That's what this show's always been about. And that's what this show will continue to be about. So share it. TroubledMinds.org. Leave us a review on iTunes. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. Again, we're honored. So many of you hang on every word. And so much appreciated. We wouldn't be doing it without you. And at the end of it, one more time, you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. Thank you for listening. And from our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night.
Goodbye, y'all.